house here. Yeah, well, stand in line. Like, gosh, famous people moving to Nashville for 600, Alex. I mean, that there's nothing new there. But then, he keeps going on, and of course, the source says, he'd be open to playing for the Titans, and just many, many more layers. So I just thought it was interesting. And I was getting text from people. Are you reporting this? And I'm like, am I on past 2:00? No, I'm sitting in a car, man. I'm not reporting anything. I'm sitting and listening to the same thing you are. So, thought it was interesting. Obviously, it's made its rounds. I mean, you put something out like that, you have to know that it's going to make its rounds. And Pro Football Talk and others have picked up on it. So we'll see. I don't know if it means anything. George Kittle moved here, too, out of nowhere. And he's not the tight end for the Tennessee Titans. And in fact, he signed a new deal in San Francisco. So, famous people move here all the time, and it means diddly, for connecting the dots. Now, do I need to really comment on how I feel about it? No, I'm not going to waste the two of you and Elijah and our listeners' time because everybody knows where I stand on that. I mean, give me a break. If I'm pro Tom Brady 2 years ago, beating that drum for an entire offseason, that summer months, what do you think I'm going to be for Aaron Rodgers? I mean, give me a break. That was 2 years ago. Now this playoff game is played out. This season is played out. I mean, I don't really need to go there, but what do you guys make of it?
Well, we live in Nashville, so we know why there are dozens of athletes and entertainers that strike up residents. But let's just take the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of Major League Baseball players who have no connection originally to Nashville that take up residence here. Why? A, it's a great city, growing city. B, there's no state income tax. When you're a Major League Baseball player and you come to Nashville to live, that means nothing in terms of you think there's going to be a Major League Baseball team coming here. So I read zero into Aaron Rodgers building a property here. It absolutely has zero impact, I think, on what is going to happen in his future. For that reason, he's obviously got the same reason for any other person moving to Nashville to have property here. He's going to be probably changing addresses somewhere, but I don't think you can connect any dots beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so
like Kyle Shanahan lived here for a long time. He's never coached for the Titans,
right? I look at it like this. No, he has not.
But he did live here, right? Or was it Schottenheimer?
Schottenheimer.
Brian Schottenheimer, not Shanahan. Brian Schottenheimer.
But I
Rex Ryan moved here.
He goes
still
to Preds
still
games.
lives here, right?
Yeah.
Never coached for the Titans, anything like that. We can go down tons of examples.
Okay, right. You're spot on. And the odds of Aaron Rodgers becoming the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, I would say is about 0.1%, if I'm being completely honest. But it's certainly worth bringing up. I mean, with all the speculation in Green Bay and then the things that we have been talking about here the last week and a half with Ryan Tannehill and what's next there, I think it's certainly I look at it as, okay, you got that information, definitely throw it out there. I think it's worth having a discussion about and then see what happens. But I don't foresee Aaron Rodgers being a member of the Tennessee Titans. If he was, great. I'm with you. Darren, we had some big debates a couple of years ago. Do you stick with Tannehill or do you go with Brady? And I was in the stick with Tannehill camp. And I look at it now, and I still don't think it was necessarily the wrong move, but I think they've gotten about as far as they can get with him. I've always been, one to say that I think you can win a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill with the right pieces around him. Well, I feel like this year was a prime example of having the right pieces around him, albeit they did battle some injuries. But you get into the playoffs, everybody's back at the right time, and he threw 3 interceptions when it mattered the most. That's something that we're going to be talking about until he erases that from history, and I don't know if he can do that. So,
But okay, that's going to be out there the whole time. I guess I would love to hear the rationale. How would you do a deal for Aaron Rodgers if you are going to do the math? Tell me how that works with the salary cap.
I'm not Vin
Well,
Marino.
obviously, Tannehill would have to be a part of the package. 100%. There's
What package? A
impossible.
trade?
Well, yeah.
So the Packers are going to trade for
Well,
Ryan Tannehill?
Does he have the ability? When he changed things last year, does he have the ability to walk away?
Who?
Rodgers.
Well, that's my first question.
I don't know his kind. I know he reworked.
He reworked it.
Did they give him like the Albert Hainsworth deal, right? Like if you come back this year, we won't franchise tag you next year, and you have the ability to walk away. I don't know. I don't know what his language says in his contract. I don't know if.
Well, they did
things,
some stuff.
I know they did some stuff, but I don't know what they did. I don't know if they said, if you come back and play this year, Aaron, in 2021, you can walk away. I don't know that. I don't know his language.
I feel like there was some sort of verbal understanding that after this year he doesn't have to come back.
But what does that mean? A verbal understanding?
It was reported a lot. I just
My
need to go
word
back
is as
and
good
look.
as oak?
No, I don't know. It says I'm looking at Spot Rack and it says potential out
2022.
2022.
But if
so
you
that would
read
be
down
after this season.
right, if you read down 2023 voids 7 days before 2023 league year. So basically, it's after this year. There's a void year.
So he cannot walk away this year. He would have to be traded.
No,
Okay, and
they would have to.
So his
figure
cap
it out.
number is 46.6.
Yeah,
Okay, perfectly worth that, right? If he's
Well,
he's the
considering
best of the
Tannehill's
best.
going to almost $40 million, yes.
Well, Tannehill's 38, but that's the problem. If you trade Tannehill, you still are responsible for a huge chunk of that. So it's even if you swapped him straight up, which I don't think they're going to be able to do, right? You're still going to do something else to get that done.
you would have to make other moves to make this work.
If you trade him before June 1st, which I would think I would think Aaron Rodgers would want to know where he's going to play before June 1st. That's $28 million for the Titans in dead cap money. True?
Yes.
28 mil. So it's 46 for Rodgers and 28 for Tannehill. So do the math there. That's almost $70 million for your quarterback. I mean,
Yeah,
I love Aaron Rodgers, but then are we saying they're just going to swap him straight up?
No.
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 But
Okay,
you
so-
have to. That's what I'm saying. You have to.
So
include Tannehill.
what's going to be 3 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks?
No.
What's it going to be?
I mean,
Two and Tannehill.
Is your net
I don't know if Green Bay does that.
okay?
Why at his age? If he's, I mean, why? If he doesn't want to be there,
Okay, no, forget about that. Let's just say he wants to be here. They want him. Okay, so you're budgeting that almost $70 million for your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving up. Let's just say it's 2 first-round picks. Okay,
It's going to be more than that.
okay. Let's say it's more than that. What other players do you have to let go to make that happen?
You have to. Well, Julio.
You
Okay.
can't. But that's dead. That's more dead cap space.
Well, no,
Huge,
but
13
no,
million.
No. If you wait till after June 1st for Julio, then it's cheaper.
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 It's like $4 million.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was a little
But
bit
he's
more
still
than
under
that. Is it
contract
4?
for the following year. That's all it is.
Yeah, if you wait till after June 1st,
Which
I mean,
still
you're
a
still
problem.
eating.
Okay.
You're
There's
still
a
eating some
penalty.
money.
There's
You're
still
still
a big
eating
penalty.
some money,
But that's
That's about as good as you can walk in.
you're not bringing back. You're not bringing back Harold Landry.
okay.
I mean that's.
Your
I don't
Your
see
left
that
side
happening.
of your offensive line is probably gone.
Okay, see, this
Yeah.
is where I'm going. There's going to have to be a lot of other things you have to do. So
Yeah, don't forget
is the net
cap is
result,
going up like 20-something million.
Yes, but that's not that much when you get down to it. Really,
Right,
It is in
it's
my
not.
book.
not for the amount of moves that they've got to make.
Here's the thing. Can it be done? Yes, it can be done. We have seen in the NFL
The Rams are proof of that.
that these GMs, and Floyd talked about this for years, you can finagle the cap however you need to finagle the cap. Now it's going to bite you at some point. You're going to have to pay for it. It's like a credit card. You're going to have to pay for it at some point. But if they really, really wanted to do it, they could do it. But they would have to sacrifice some stuff.
Okay, we're going to table this because we are definitely coming back and talking about it because I want to discuss going for it and what does that mean. But we'll do that a little bit later. When we come back, pretty cool story locally. I brought it up on Monday. 3 guys, Nashvillians, that are playing in the Super Bowl, right? And one of those guys is Van Jefferson. And we're going to talk to Ravenwood's coach, Will Hester, who coached him. So we're going to do that on the other side as you listen to Darren Donick and Chase, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down. Ooh.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year 1?
Wake up and hang out with Robbie and Rex Road. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and The Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Genesis Diamonds has everything you need to create the perfect Valentine's experience. A romantic gift, some fresh flowers, chocolates, and dinner out on us. That's right. Genesis has put together the ultimate Valentine's package. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, we'll give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at STK Steakhouse. At Genesis, love and romance are what we do best. So we've created this amazing one-stop offer so you can spend quality time with the one you love this Valentine's. We've pulled together some wonderful Valentine gift ideas as well. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, affordable, timeless gifts she can enjoy for years. So bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis. Spend just $99 or more with us and get the flowers, the chocolates, and a gift card for dinner as our gift. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Your home value is way up. You can use that money now to pay off credit cards or remodel your house, or both. Hey, Willie Donner for Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto can convert that home equity into cash as little as 2 weeks from now with no cost to you and zero hassle. Mike and Joan in Brentwood called Loan Pronto and they did a Loan Pronto zero cost cash out refi. They got a check for $100,000. They used $50,000 to pay off all of their credit cards and a car loan. Use the other $50K to upgrade their master bath and kitchen. They locked in a new APR in the 2s and lowered their total monthly bills by hundreds of dollars. Hello? What are you waiting on? Call Loan Pronto now and convert your home value into cash. Put that money to good use. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780 or lowpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
This is Mikhail Kralin, and this is Nashville.
The rebound shoveled in by Mikhail Gronlund, and the Predators have tied it up on the power play.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 102.5, The Game.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back here on Darren Donick and Chase on this rainy Thursday. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Chase McCabe with you. Our show brought to you by Creation CBD products, curated for life. Let's head out to Williamson County. Let's bring in Ravenwood's football coach, Will Hester, on the line with us. Good morning,
Hester.
Coach. How you doing?
Doing great, guys. How are y'all?
Thanks for doing this.
No, absolutely. Love to. I always enjoy talking about our former players.
Well, I was going to say, you kind of know a player that's going to be playing here in, about 11 days on the biggest stage that we've got in sports in Van Jefferson. You had a pretty special team in 2015 that won the state title. Just take us behind the walls, take us behind the curtain and tell us, I haven't had any experience around Van Jefferson, but, what was he like to coach?
I mean, exactly what you would expect out of someone who's going to end up having a phenomenal professional career. I mean, first off, he's the son of former Titans receivers coach and current Cardinals receiver coach Sean Jefferson, who played 14 years in the league himself and in 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots and Bill Parcells. So, obviously, from the time he was born and the time he could walk, he was preparing for this opportunity. He was probably as prepared a high school football player as I've ever had in my 23 years of doing this. And he's just a special human being. His dad, as you would expect with an NFL coach, has to work a bunch. And so most of his, I guess, day-to-day upbringing was done by his mom, who's a wonderful, wonderful person who, cares and loves deeply for everyone she comes in contact with. And he is kind of, taking on that personality as far as how he is as a man off the field. And he's his dad on the field. So I'd say he's kind of got the best of both worlds when it comes from mom and dad.
When did you know? I mean, he would obviously go on to play in the SEC, and now he's in the NFL. But when did you know just the athlete? You've described kind of the person also along with that athlete. But when did you know there was something special there other than just his last name? When did you know athletic? By the way, some kids have their parents' last name, or their dad's last name who played at a high level, and it doesn't always translate. When did you know with him?
Yeah, I would say it was probably the summer between his junior and senior year of high school. So when he got here, he was a scrawny little beanpole of a sophomore who had just moved in from Detroit. And was he a great football player? Absolutely. He would have probably been an all-state football player and done all those things, but he weighed 150 pounds, and he probably grew 2 more inches and put on 30 pounds of good weight between his junior season and his senior season. He had the opportunity to go to what was probably the premier summer event for the guys coming out at the Nike opening back then, and had a great performance there, and was chosen to play in the Army All-American game and played well there. So, you begin to see that he was going to be able to compete at the highest level with the best athletes at that time at his age. And then, he starts out at Ole Miss and is there with AJ and DK and all those guys during that time at Ole Miss. And after Coach Freeze left, or was asked to leave, I guess you could say, he ended up at Florida and finished up his last 2 years there and did really, really well at Florida with Felipe and Kyle Trask. So, it became pretty clear, I would say, right before his senior year of high school.
We were talking to Coach Will Hester at Ravenwood, and Coach, good to talk to you again. We spent a lot of time talking to you on Friday nights with Joe Dubin and Sudzo on the Game Blitz after games, so always was a good time. But I remember 2014, that heartbreaker against Maryville in the state title game in overtime. You guys lose 35-34. What did you see out of Van then? When you're at a low point. The high points are great, but you learn so much about a player when they have a tough time.
Well, that was his senior year, right? So that was his last high school game. Unfortunately, he wasn't on the team. They got to go back the next year. But, what you do see from Van is you see him in the locker room after the game telling those junior and sophomore kids that, hey, listen, we've laid the foundation. We know we're good enough to win this game. Now you go do it. And, those guys took those words to heart, and the next year they were able to go do it against the same Maryville team the following season. So, just a great leader on and off the field, a great young man, and now a great father. There's a lot of the NFL posted a picture of him with his daughter on the field after the game. And, to me as a coach, those are some of the most special moments. You prepare them athletically. You can make sure they're doing what they need to do academically. But when you see them being good husbands and fathers and contributing positively to society, those are in my opinion, the best moments as a coach.
So, as I mentioned, we talked to you way back in the day with Ravenwood. You left to start Nolensville, and now you're back at Ravenwood. What was it like to be back with the Raptors this year?
It was pretty awesome. At times it was almost like we hadn't left. I turned left into the school like I had so many times before, and my office was in the same spot. The little difference on the good grass, from regular grass to synthetic turf, but Ravenwood is what it always has been. It's a special place, and if it wasn't for those pesky Wade twins, we might have had a chance to play for a state championship this year. But they're pretty darn good.
Oh, they are. They were special. I know you want that, but and I remember in doing these shows, Summit, when they started as a program, and now you see them now. But that was a tough one, but a lot of talent.
Oh, absolutely. Great high school football games. A lot of guys that are going to be playing on Saturdays and some on Sundays that played in those games this year. And, football in Middle Tennessee from a high school standpoint is as good as it's ever been. And we're putting more guys out into the college ranks, which will eventually be into the NFL ranks. I mean, how crazy is it? There's 3 guys that all prepped high school football in Middle Tennessee that are playing for the Rams come the Super Bowl, and Bryson Hopkins and obviously Jalen Ramsey and Van.
Talking to Coach Will Hester from Ravenwood. Coach, just before we let you go, I'd love to get a high school coach's perspective on, as you develop players, and as you said, you got the big vision. You want all your players to go on to success in life, not just in football. But we know it's real stressful right now for parents, and I'm sure for you, as you try to maneuver through all of this transfer portal stuff, which has created a logjam, put that on top of COVID, where you've got a lot of players with extra eligibility. It's creating issues with the system. How do you try to manage that?
It's very difficult. I would say for a high school kid especially, the recruiting process is more difficult now than maybe it's ever been. I mean, I would even go back to the days of, when we were all coming out and you were making VHS tapes and you were mailing them off. I mean, at least at that point, every signing class or every roster, each year was going to be built with kids coming out of high school, or kids coming out of junior college. Now, not only are you competing against those guys, you're also competing against a kid who may have started at another school and has decided that, because of the portal and because of the opportunities with NIL and those kinds of things, will, be a free agent of sorts and can transfer in. So it's very difficult. I think you see a lot of programs who are trying to win now because most coaches, feel like there's a 3-year window that they have to win or that they have to, they're going to get asked to move on. A lot of those guys that are feeling that pressure are living in the portal world and kind of trying to, I guess, if you will, jumpstart their program at times. So it's definitely very difficult. I think you just got to continue to be transparent. I think what you've seen is that a lot of guys that would have been like group of 5 guys that are now ended up FCS guys, and those guys that were FCS guys are now D2 guys, and it kind of trickles down. And I think you're going to see more kids going the 5th-year prep route to try to at least, get another year, and hopefully this thing will kind of write itself out.
Coach, as we wrap this up, do you know your schedule yet for next year?
Absolutely. It's the exact same schedule as last year, except we're flipping sites. So,
Okay.
we know exactly who we got opening up at home with Montgomery Bell Academy. So.
Oh, that's going to be a good one for sure. Love it.
Yeah, Chris.
We'll get Chris Sanders on.
Reed, so.
Yeah, we'll get Chris Sanders on to talk smack. Good. We'll send you the tape.
Sounds great. I can't wait.
Good to talk to you, Coach. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely, guys.
Will Hester, head coach at Ravenwood. He was one of those regulars every week. We talked to him Friday nights after his game.
I can see why.
Oh, yeah, always great.
So I goofed at the beginning, right? I thought he was on the 2015. So he was on the year before the heartbreak loss.
Yes.
I thought he was on the 2015 year was his last year. So
yeah, he
my bad.
Yeah, he that team was so special in 2014. I mean, they ran through everybody. And then, like so many schools, Oakland's been through this. You hit the buzzsaw that is Maryville. It was a fantastic game. Comes down to the wire, and if I recall, I think they went for the win. They went for 2 to win the game and didn't get it. And so they lost in overtime 35-34, and just a heartbreaker. But, that was Van's last game as a Raptor. So there you go. Willie, tell us about Lee Company.
All right. Be glad to tell you about Lee Company. Let's talk 567-1000, area code 615. Lee Company, let's emphasize today, with it pouring rain, I mean, if you're a homeowner, your house takes a beating. Over time, the elements, all of those things, there's wear and tear, and you need a good home maintenance plan. And that's exactly what Lee Company has for you, the home maintenance plan. They want your house operating efficiently over time, nonstop. To do that, you need annual checkups on those systems that keep your house running. Your heating, your cooling, your plumbing, your electric. That's what they do. Annual checkups on all 4 of those areas, and they'll find the little problems when it's time to get repairs. They'll find them before they become crisis situations. That's the idea. And it's going to save you money over the long time, on the long term, because it's preventive maintenance. So sign up for this home maintenance plan because you get discounts on those repairs if and when they are needed. 615-567-1000 for Lee Company. Tell them you want to be a part of that home maintenance plan. Sign up. You'll pay a small monthly fee. And like I said, you're going to save money because you get those discounts on the repairs. It's worked for our house for 6-7 years now. We've been working with Lee Company. 567-1000, area code 615, leecompany.com.
Tune in every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for Nashville's own Jason Fitz with Jared Stillman and company. Fitz started his sports talk career right here on 102.5 The Game, and now he anchors shows for ESPN. Jason Fitz is brought to you by Blood Assurance. Give blood. Give local. Give life. Furniture has never been easier to buy than now at Social Furniture. All the 2022 sofas, sectionals, and mattresses are arriving daily with the latest styles and colors ready for delivery. All furniture at Social is top quality solid woods and designer fabrics. There's no waiting, and they have same-day delivery for your convenience. Use their financing and pay no money down and pay no interest for 1 full year. Buy local. Support Social. Social Furniture on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-819-1120. That's 800-819-1120. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-819-1120 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
From curriculum-based literacy programs and sport leagues to college tours and workforce readiness tracks, Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provide a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. You can support local youth and their great futures by donating at bgcmt.org.
Attention veterans of Middle Tennessee. Little Guys Movers wants to put your hard-earned skills and leadership talent to work with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. Be your own boss and build a team with standards as high as your own, and all while serving your community with the same hustle that you served your country. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Start a fulfilling, profitable new chapter of your life as a member of a team with 30-plus years of growth and good times at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
With just one spray of Microban 24, your hard surfaces are sanitized for up to 24 hours. Touch after touch after touch.
So 6 hours from now?
Still sanitized.
12 hours?
Yep.
18 hours.
We're really doing this.
24 hours.
When used as directed, one spray of Microban keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria touch after touch for, up to 24 hours.
Wow.
Microban 24. The sanitizer 4 out of 5 doctors would use in their own homes. So why aren't you?
Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexroad for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takeuchi dealer.
Hey Nashville, it's Max Kellerman, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ESPN 102.5 The Game. It's Nashville's official home. Get ready for a chase. Get ready of NASCAR.
I'm ready.
Woohoo! Dale. Come on, Dale. Tune in Sunday, February 6th.
Praise hell, praise Dale.
Come on, Dale. You can do it. 1:30, the inaugural Busch Clash at the L.A. Coliseum.
How did they put the track in there? I know this is – I know there. I haven't read the story, but there hasn't been a track there last night I checked, right?
No.
There's been a running track
Yes.
from the Olympics.
No. But they basically
they're not using the same track. Just
it's not the same one that Carl Lewis and Edmund Moses.
It'll be
ran?
different.
No, it'll be a little bit different. But yes, the Busch Clash is at 1:30 on Sunday. Chasing Checkers debuts Sunday at 8. Moving to Sundays for this season, since we're airing the races, it kind of makes sense to do the racing show on race day. So,
did you come up with that, or was that your team that came up with that?
What, to move the show?
Yeah.
No, that was me. That was right out of this noggin right here.
Yeah, that's something.
That's the People's PD
Look
working
at
for
you.
you.
People's PD.
Yeah.
That's why you got that position, man.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will be my first guest
of
the season.
Okay. How's Danica?
They broke up. I don't know.
How are her and Aaron doing?
They broke up too.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. She's dating. Is she dating somebody? Do we know Elijah? Do we care?
I don't know. The answer is no. No, we don't.
Yeah. I don't know. But looking forward to that. To answer your question, Willie.
Hope she's still a really cool person.
Worst interview I've ever been a part of. But they basically they covered the field and they paved a temporary track. They will pull the track up.
How long is the track? It's got to be pretty short.
Quarter mile. Right? Quarter mile. So they're going to pack 36 cars on a quarter mile. And
how's that going to
let them rip? They're going to tear.
What's Bristol, for example?
Half mile.
So this is shorter than Bristol.
Yes.
So this is going to be a lot of,
and it's not banked.
Mixer bowl.
There's hardly any banking. So I mean, this is flat. Now, this isn't the first time, obviously, they've raced in a stadium. There's a very famous Bowman Gray Stadium in North Carolina that has races. They actually tested the car at Bowman Gray Stadium to see how it would maneuver. And with this new car, it's going to be okay. But they're going to tear it up. I mean, they're going to beat and bang, and they're going to do this kind of old school short track style with heat races, and then they'll have a feature. So I guess they won't have 36 cars on at the same time because they're going to split it up into heats and all of that. But it's going to be something.
Yeah. I assume that USC's not practicing.
No, they're
spring practice while this is going on.
They had to find somewhere else.
So are they going to let the crazies in the infield like they do at Talladega and stuff?
I don't think so. There's not a lot of room.
Darren loves going to the infield. He's done it for the Kentucky Derby. I think he should do it for the L.A. Coliseum.
That was the problem is I didn't see a horse when I went to the
You never saw a horse?
No, I never saw a horse.
So you've seen the pictures.
Yeah,
right?
I saw the pictures.
So they have.
I was just thinking that's super short to have a race. I was just
it's a quarter mile. I mean it's been done. But not with.
How long is the old Nashville Speedway? Is that bigger than a quarter?
3/8.
3/8. Okay.
Yep, 3/8 of a mile. So the shortest track in NASCAR, I guess, is Martinsville Speedway, which is just under a half. Bristol's a half mile. Richmond is 3/4 of a mile, and then Fairgrounds is 3/8. So there you go.
All right. Now I know something.
This is what I wanted to say because we had to step away to talk to Will Hester, and that was good. That was cool to hear about Van Jefferson, local kid, really cool, playing in the Super Bowl. The reason that and I understand, and Willie's always going to go, and I get it. There is the business element that you have to bring into this, and it has to be a real conversation because it's just not as easy as playing fantasy football and saying, okay, with my pick, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. That's not how it works. This is reality. But here's why, Alexa, be quiet. This is why it's vitally important. Because they are in this window, and we've talked about it all season, where they have gotten people back for the first time in a long time. Hold on a second. Alexa! Don't know why she decided just to start talking forever. Sorry. Could you guys hear that?
No.
Yes.
I couldn't.
Oh, my gosh. He was just rambling on. I don't know what she was talking about. Maybe Aaron's new home. Maybe she saw the plans. They are in this window right now where they've gotten people back for the first time in a long time. Like, they're all in again. Now, the tires, they're a little bit deflated, right? They're a little bit low on PSI. We've all had that, right? Where we have to go, hey, low tire, rear, driver's side, rear tire, a little bit low. Need to put a little air in it. Now, they lost some air with this loss to the Bengals and the way the season ended. But they've gotten people back. And you don't want to lose that. And right now, it's teetering because if you don't take that next step after you just lost some air, then you're in the danger zone because you're in the danger zone of people checking back out again. And I just think they're in that window where you've got to go. Look, you brought it up yesterday, Willie, and I'm the one that said it back when we first started talking about this. Like, there's no guarantees, and I used the Eddie George example. When he had turf toe, I thought Eddie George was made in a lab. I thought he was invincible. I thought he was RoboCop. I didn't think you could do anything to slow down Eddie George. He had turf toe, and he was never the same. We didn't think that was going to happen. That's how it played out. I don't think Derrick Henry can't return to old Derrick Henry, but we don't know. Like, what if he doesn't? What if he's not the same running back? What if he's got to run to the left more and everybody figures that out, that he can't run to the right with his plant leg, and he's running to the left, everybody sniffs that out, and the next thing you know, Derrick Henry's going for 62 yards a game. I don't think that's going to happen, but what if? You're in this window where you've got to capture this now, right now. And if you're in that window of capturing something quick and right now, Aaron Rodgers at 38 years old, he just turned 38 in December, then that is if you're looking for a fast track, that's your fast track.
Yeah, I mean,
But at what cost? Does your net team become better if you're trading away all your first-round picks? You already don't have a second-round pick, and you have to cut X amount of key players, veteran players, just to get him in under the cap. I don't know that the answer is yes.
And can I say this real quick, Chase, before you jump in? Because, Willie, I understand it's easy to say this, and I'm not trying to make a joke, and it's a throwaway line. I'm being somewhat serious. Is really a first-round pick? John Robinson's done a whole lot of good since he's been here. But first-round picks have not been his strength at all. We know that. Like, it's actually been a weakness. Is losing a first-round pick really that big of a deal for what he's done here with first-round picks?
It's not just your first-round pick. It's your first-round pick and any ability to address any other needs. What money would you have left over? You're only going to subtract from your current group if you were to try to make this done for next year. Do you guys agree with that? Like, what money would you have to go address other needs in free agency? You guys talk about the tight end all the time. Who's your tight end?
I mean,
you're not going to draft one, and you're not going to get a free agent pickup. So there you go. So now
why can't you draft one?
Okay, you draft one in the third round. You don't have a first-round pick. You don't have a second-round pick.
Well, ask LA to give you back, Green Bay to give you back a second-round pick with your 2 first rounds you sent.
They're not going to do that.
I mean, but you see what I'm saying? You're going to take away all of your ability to massage and service your roster. You're putting everything on hold for that, and you would pay an exorbitant amount just for your quarterback.
Well, I mean, you're already paying a pretty good amount, but you're going to pay even more to get rid of the guy that you're paying.
You're almost doubling it.
Right. I mean, that's the problem. Here's the other thing that we haven't even brought up. How much does Aaron Rodgers want to continue to play with Devontae Adams? You know, what factor does that have?
Look, if he wants to get out of Green Bay, then I think he's got to park that.
Okay, well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I guess Green Bay could franchise tag Devontae Adams if they really wanted to. I don't know if they will, but he's going to be a free agent if they don't do that. So,
but the Packers are supposed to sit here and say, yes, we'll do whatever you want, Aaron. I mean, they have a say in this. And 2, if in this fantasy world
they do and they don't.
I was going to say they've been down that road, and that really bit them in the butt.
Because you know what he could do if he goes to them, and there's all these mixed reports of that they've made up and whatever. But if he's like, guys, I'm ready to do something different. I just want to go somewhere else. They could say, nah, we're not going to trade you. You got 1 year left on your contract. You got to play here. He can go, all right, well, been a good career. I'm out. He could do that.
Okay.
So he does have a little more he has a little more control.
He has a lot of leverage. Green Bay, are they going to trade for Ryan Tannehill? Would they have any interest in that?
I don't know.
I believe the answer is no.
Probably not. If
why would they? They drafted Jordan
right.
Love, so you're going to have a 30 whatever it costs for Green Bay to take on Tannehill's contract. I don't know what the math is there. They don't have to pay the full lot because the signing bonus goes on the dead cap space to the Titans.
Yeah, 38.6 is the cap hit. The dead cap is 57.4 for Tannehill.
So, I mean, there might be some reworking there, et cetera, but you're not going to pay a backup that much. So they have no use for Tannehill. So you need to get a third team involved that would have an interest in Tannehill.
And that could be – I mean, there's a lot of teams that right now are in the market, right, as Tom Brady
Well, there always are.
Pittsburgh's lost their quarterback in New Orleans. Who knows what's going to happen there? I mean, there are a lot of teams that are going to be looking for a starting quarterback for sure.
So
maybe Houston.
That's further complicated. I go down. The more I go down this road, the more I come back to the same thing I have thought all along. And John Robinson said it on the record 2 days ago that they've done a lot of good things, and it's not smart, as so many people are doing, overreacting to a guy having a bad game on one day, like the worst day. I know if he throws 2 interceptions and not 3, I would argue they still win the game, and they might still be playing. Ryan Tannehill has done a lot of really good things. I wouldn't mess too much with what they have. If you feel like you can reasonably improve your team from this year to next year without doing these bending over backwards moves to try to bring in Rodgers but lose X, Y, Z and more, plus mortgage your future, I think you're better off doing it this way.
All right, we'll come back. We'll continue the discussion to wrap up hour number 1 next.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Temperatures will be falling from the 40s to the 30s the rest of the day. Rain will be transitioning to freezing rain by this evening.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
Genesis Diamonds has everything you need to create the perfect Valentine's experience. A romantic gift, some fresh flowers, chocolates, and dinner out on us. That's right. Genesis has put together the ultimate Valentine's package. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, we'll give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at STK Steakhouse. At Genesis, love and romance are what we do best. So we've created this amazing one-stop offer so you can spend quality time with the one you love this Valentine's. We've pulled together some wonderful Valentine gift ideas as well. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, affordable, timeless gifts she can enjoy for years. So bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis. Spend just $99 or more with us and get the flowers, the chocolates, and a gift card for dinner as our gift. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Nashville's best deal of the week is the Mainstay Bar and Grill in East Nashville. The Mainstay is located at 501 Main Street and is your local spot to enjoy all your sports along with great food and friends. With over 25 TVs, 20 taps, and nightly events like trivia and much more, you can't go wrong. The Mainstay Bar and Grill. Good drinks, good people, good times. Head to thegamenashville.com/deals now to get half off a $30 gift card to the Mainstay while supplies last.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
If you're out in the Hermitage area today, Blood Assurance. Stop in there. 4686 Lebanon Pike. You can register to win tickets to the Predators Outdoor Stadium game at the end of this month. Plus, one lucky winner will receive a Predators Stadium game jersey. That's Blood Assurance in Hermitage today. We'll be out there doing that. So you'll see the game vehicle. Stop in there and register to win. Back here on the DDC, our show is presented by Creation CBD. Products curated for life. What to do. When you say the Ryan Tannehill, the problem and the pushback you're going to get with, he's been all right. He has been. The problem
he's been
is
more
the
than all
last
right.
No, the last 2 years, when you're ultimately judged on how the season ends, you're going the wrong way. The last 2 years, you've been one and done in the playoffs, and he has not been good at all.
No question.
And you are ultimately judged on that. Fair or unfair, that's how you're judged. And
well, that's not wise. If you're only
judged.
judging on that, then that's not fair.
Well, when you get paid, when you play that position, and you get paid the way he's been paid, you are. That's the way it is.
Yes, but you have to evaluate. When you're evaluating a player, it's wise not to just evaluate on that.
Well, if you're going to pay him to lead you to the promised land,
you have to get to the playoffs first.
And they've done that, and they've been one and done. At home, both times. At home.
They're
2 years in a row, one and done.
They're 30-13.
It's irrelevant.
Are we going to do this again, Willie? I mean, it is all about.
I'm not. I don't want to go down this road again. I'm just saying I like Ryan Tannehill and what he has done. I am not overreacting
Ryan Tannehill too.
To the one game. You guys are overreacting to one game.
I'm not overreacting. I've said this for 2 years. Everybody's just now trying to join the party. I've been saying it for 2 years.
So maybe you like it like it was before?
And you've been pushing back for 2 years, and that's fine. But this is not new discovery for me. This is for a lot of people. They're like, okay, now I get it. Yeah, you probably need to upgrade at quarterback.
Everybody would love to upgrade to Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about the practicality of it.
Yeah.
It's not practical.
It's not practical, and neither is the Russell Wilson thing. It's not practical. It's a great thought. Everybody would love to have a quarterback who is better than Ryan Tannehill. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are better than Ryan Tannehill. I grant you that. It's not even close. It's not even worth discussing. But there is a huge price to pay to try to even go down that road. And to me, the net result is not worth it.
Here is the question that everybody should be asking right now. Because Ryan Tannehill is going to be the starting quarterback for the Titans when they open the season.
Yes, he is.
I think if you're being
Are
realistic,
you bracing everybody?
You know that. The question is, do you trust John Robinson to address what's next at the quarterback position?
Yes. He got Ryan Tannehill. He had Marcus Mariota.
He got Ryan Tannehill, but
he turned him into.
He's never drafted. I know he's drafted some quarterbacks, but he's never drafted a future starting quarterback.
Are you saying we need to change John Robinson and get him? They've had 6 straight winning seasons.
I'm not saying you need to change John Robinson at all. I'm asking, do you trust him to draft the franchise quarterback? He's never done that before. He's never had
He had never been a GM before he got this job, and he's led him to 6 straight winning seasons and 2 division
titles. You're taking this as a negative. I'm just asking a question. I'm not making this a negative at all.
You act like it's so easy for anybody to come in and, just get me a quarterback. Sure, I'll draft a quarterback, Go get Russell Wilson. Go get Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, quarterbacks are easy to find.
Darren, what did I ask him? I just said, do you trust John Robinson to draft a quarterback?
Absolutely, yes.
I think it's a fair question. Because
it's hard to draft a quarterback. You can.
It's hard to draft any position. It's hard to draft the right tackle.
Ask
apparently.
the Bears if you trust the Bears to draft a quarterback. There's a lot of teams that have flunked several times. The Titans have flunked several times.
I was about to say, this
quarterback.
organization has.
Exactly. It's hard to do. Every organization has, except for the ones that were really, really fortunate, like the Packers,
the last GM
like the Colts.
The last GM of the Titans to truly get it right was Floyd with McNair. And Vince had the one good year. But ultimately, I don't consider that a success.
Willie, you know, because you poked fun at me a lot. I was doing what Stephen Ross was doing on the air. I was saying tank for Trevor. Maybe I would have been included in the lawsuit, but you laughed and you laughed.
Yes.
And what was my whole reasoning?
The Browns
what was my reasoning? Get the elite, no-brainer quarterback. Let's get an elite quarterback in this market for the first time ever.
Yes, and the fact is we don't know for sure that Trevor Lawrence is elite. That's what I argued at the time.
We don't.
And you would have missed out on all the fun we've had the last, since you made that statement. They've won 2 divisions, and it's been kind of fun to watch the Titans. As you said, you got people's attention. You got full houses. You got high rating. Everything's going well. You would have sacrificed that all to have some 1-15s and throw games like the Dolphins owner to get Trevor Lawrence.
Do you think I was dangerously close to being named in that lawsuit?
Yeah. Connecting the dots, Darren. If you had any extra connections to Miami, I'd really wonder.
You know I don't have any money, so I couldn't pay anybody off to take
that's
games.
True. You're off the hook.
Yeah. So that pretty much scratches me off the list. I understand it's hard, and this whole business thing, it makes it virtually impossible. So what does all this mean? I mean, everybody else is going to face obstacles, so if Russell Wilson is on the move and Aaron Rodgers is on the move, how is somebody else going to be able to make it work? I mean, it's obstacles no matter what. You're going to have to move mountains no matter what. The Rams had to move mountains to get Matthew Stafford to L.A., and they did.
And
they chose to do it.
And they're one win away from it paying off.
Yeah.
If they win, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens because eventually they're going to have to pay for it. Like they're not going to have draft capital, so they're not going to be able to reload. They're going to lose these guys, and eventually they're going to suck again. But guess what? They'll have a trophy.
Tampa. It's happened in Tampa. They went for it, right? What did they do? They won the Super Bowl,
and now they're not going to be very good.
They brought everybody back, and they knew they were going to be in salary cap hell. And now Gronk is going to retire, Brady's retired, and Godwin's on the move, and Antonio Brown's probably out of the league forever, and they're going to suck again. They're going to go back to – they might as well just bring back the orange creamsicle jerseys, uniforms, because they're going to suck again. But you know what? Was it worth it? Were those 2 years worth it in the Tampa Bay market? I think the people that were at that parade, they'll probably say it was worth it.
It was definitely worth
it.
They were not as close. That was like every situation is different. The Rams is an interesting one. I think that is the one that if you're arguing,
well, let me read
let's
this.
move the mountains to try to get another quarterback in. You look at what the Rams have done.
Yeah.
And then you ask yourself,
this is
the perfect that what way you want to try to do?
This is the perfect way to describe it. Randy on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Rams weren't practical, and they're in the Super Bowl. I'll do impractical. I mean, you think about some of the moves they did that could blow up in their face. If they lose, like it's not worth it, and they're going to get criticized for it. But if it works, then hey, they got the trophy. That's all that matters.
Going for it does not always work, but right now this is the new hot thing. It's working for the Rams, and so it becomes the new hot thing. But teams go for it all the time. But it doesn't work
They made
out.
their team better. I don't know that these moves for the Titans make the Titans better.
Because it's not just the quarterback they made, too. They also traded for OBJ. They also threw in a bunch of picks for
Sony Michel.
Sony Michel when Cam Akers went down. Like, it wasn't just the quarterback move that put them over the top.
They pushed their chips. Right. They pushed their chips all in the middle of the table.
Stan Kroenke said, I want a ring.
Yeah. I mean, I'm moving into my new stadium, and I want a ring. We're hosting the Super Bowl. I want a ring. Here's my chips. I'm all in. Who wants to call? And that's what he did. All right, we'll come back. Martin Gramatica is going to join us. We're going to talk about the fallout of Tom Brady leaving. Did he know this day was coming? We'll get into all the particulars with him to start hour number 2. That's next.
From Brentwood to Donaldson, that's when you need to get your groove. We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Get big game ready and score amazing deals at Electronic Express. Bring the action to your living room with 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, and more. The game wouldn't be complete without the food, so save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Electronic Express has what you need to get big game ready. We make it happen.
Need cash for that home improvement or want to finally be credit card debt free? How does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound right now? Loan Pronto can do it for you, whether you have a VA loan or a conventional loan. They're helping local homeowners convert their home equity into cash with zero closing costs. Willie Donick here. Listen, your home value is up. Let Loan Pronto tap that equity and get you the cash you need. Pay off high interest loans. Start that home remodeling project. Veteran homeowners are really loving this because with a VA loan, you can tap 100% of your home's equity. That's a ton of cash. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They are doing loans with APRs in the 2s. And if you call now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now to see what your options are. Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's as the neighborhood bar and restaurant to catch the next Preds game. Jasper's is located on West End Avenue and offers a fun atmosphere with a game room, TVs, and a large bar and lounge area. Plus they offer free parking. That's right, free parking on West End, and offer specials for every Preds game day, including $10 smash burgers and $3 bottled domestics. So come on down to Jasper's next game day for happy hour every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. and 2-for-1 beers all day on Sundays. Just tell them that Robbie Stanley sent you.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics has been serving Wilson County for over 12 years to ensure safety of both their patients and staff. They are strictly adhering to CDC and OSHA guidelines. They're located where you live and work, just off South Hartman Drive in Lebanon, focusing on general orthopedics, sports medicine trauma, and arthroscopic of the hip, shoulder, foot, and ankle. When experience matters, trust the #1 orthopedic clinic in Wilson County. For more info or to book an appointment, visit tn.houston.com.
Do you love Smashville? Join us February 12th and 15th to watch your Nashville Predators take on the Winnipeg Jets and Washington Capitals. Live from Bridgestone Arena. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to make sure you get a seat or 2. Whether you're bringing your honey or getting ready for a night out with your pals, Smashville is the place you need to be. Secure your seat and bring your gold. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets to make plans with the Preds. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN,
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
a Cromwell media station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game.
Second hour, Darren Donick and Chase on this rainy Thursday here in Nashville. Let's head down to Tampa. Let's bring in Martin Gramatica. We've always enjoyed our conversations with him, and he now joins us on the program. Martin, how you doing?
I'm good. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Did you know this week was coming? Did you know this announcement was coming? What were the thoughts? What was the vibe down in Tampa after the season came to a close a little bit too early?
Yeah, well, definitely it came too early because we had a great year and overcame so many injuries. You know, this team just couldn't get healthy, and as soon as we got healthy in one area, we got injury somewhere else. So it was one of those years where you never had the full team, and for them to overcome all those injuries and get as far as they did was amazing. But yeah, no, when you have number 12, everything seems to be easier, and I think it elevates everybody's play. That's why you're able to get as far as you got without everybody healthy.
So did you think ultimately this was it? Or did you think he was going to maybe give it another year?
You know what? When you see how many free agents we have over 22 free agents, 9 starters, and a lot of them, a couple of the O-linemen, a lot of his weapons. But I always thought, why not come back? He's played at a high level. It's not like his game deteriorated at all. He should be the MVP of the league and played that good. And then when Adam Schefter, came out and prematurely brought the report out, I figured, okay, that's awesome. And maybe Brady will try to prove him wrong and stay another year just to make, make him look bad. But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Is Gronk gone too? Is he retiring? Re-retiring?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know for a fact. I don't know. I haven't talked to him, or I haven't talked to anybody in the organization to confirm anything. But I feel like, they're buddies. Gronk came to Tampa because of Brady. They have great chemistry. I don't see Gronk coming back if Brady's not back.
So we're trying to figure out, because we're in a weird place in this market, because the Titans have gone out in the first round. They've won the division the last 2 years. They've gone out in the first round the last 2 years in the playoffs at home, and trying to take that next step. And, of course, whenever you're trying to take the next step and you're not sure about your quarterback situation, and there's, stuff out there about Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson and others, you may be thinking about an upgrade. That's what Tampa did 2 years ago. They were in no man's land. They had no success in the playoffs, and Tom Brady came there, and we know how it all worked out. So what has been now, and by the way, it could return back to, next year could be a 6-win season. It could very well. So if it does do that, what's going to be ultimately the market of Tampa? Bucs fans, what are they going to say about that 2-year window? And what if it sucks the next 5 years? Are they still going to be cool with it?
Well, you're never cool with losing, but you have to be thankful for the 2 years that Brady gave us in the team. The Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl buys you some time. It was 19 years between Super Bowls, and in those 19 years, we had one playoff appearance, which we lost. So it's not like we were doing great. So when you bring Brady in, you build a great team around him, and you win the Super Bowl, that should buy you time. But unfortunately for all these teams trying to, take that same recipe and do it, there's no Tom Brady's out there. Yeah, you can talk Aaron Rodgers, you can talk Russell Wilson, but they're great, but they're not great in the playoffs like Brady was. So that's where I think the missing piece is. You can rebuild, reload, but there's no Brady out there to come get like we did here in Tampa.
Martin Gramatica is with us. So, Martin, what do you think the plan will be going forward for the Bucs at QB?
Well, I think you have to bring somebody in with experience. Blaine Gabbert did a great job backing up Brady, and when he came in, he showed some nice things. But at the end of the day, you're coming in when you're blowing somebody out. So it's not really a realistic look. Kyle Trask, young kid, I don't know if he's ready. They said he looked really good in camp. But again, do you go with a young quarterback, which we haven't really had luck with young quarterbacks here in Tampa. If you look at everybody we've drafted, usually they have success somewhere else. So I feel like, and I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I feel like we need to come and go get a veteran that can solidify that position, because we still do have a lot of weapons and a solid quarterback. You can still be a playoff team. And with our division, with the Saints and where they are, Carolina and Atlanta, there is a really high possibility we're going to be in the playoffs. Now the question is, are you good enough to win it all? So that's where I think we need a veteran quarterback.
See, that's a great question, is whether they still feel like it's worth going after it and trying to win again. You said it. The division is very winnable. So what quarterbacks are maybe on your radar? Who's getting talked about down there? And I know they're just starting to wrap their arms around this. I don't know how much they expected this to be the case, but they had to probably be surveying to see what options might be available.
Yeah, I think that the same talk that anybody that needs a quarterback, everybody's talking Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, or Jimmy Garoppolo are the three names that we're hearing. And that's, I believe, you guys are hearing it up there as well. I guess Aaron Rodgers bought some land in Tennessee, so now he's going there. So who knows, but those are the three names that we've heard here in Tampa.
We're talking to Martin Gramatica, former kicker down in Tampa Bay. And, Gronk obviously came in and became the go-to guy for Brady at tight end. But What have you seen the last few years out of O.J. Howard? Obviously, somebody we saw in the SEC at Alabama. I really liked him coming out of Alabama, but obviously playing behind Gronk, he's had more of a diminished role. But what do you think he can be at the tight end position?
Well, as far as an athlete, he's got all the tools. I mean, he's a freak of nature when it comes to athleticism, but he just never really has developed into that powerhouse tight end. And I understand that Gronk's been here, and that's why, basically the last 2 years he's had a backup role. But even when Gronk wasn't here, he wasn't showing those signs of greatness that everybody expected from a first-round pick. So I thought they were going to use him as a trade last year, especially after he had a really good game. I believe it was against Atlanta. He had a really good game, so I thought maybe this is a good time to move him because he really hasn't shown anything. Now, 2 years under Gronk, maybe he has learned some things and can develop into that great tight end that we're all expecting. But as of now, he hasn't shown much. Cameron Braid has shown a lot more, and physically he's not the specimen that O.J. Howard is, but he has shown a lot more, and it was a more solid backup to Gronk as well. So if Gronk retires, we've got to figure something out in that position. I don't know if Cameron Braid can be that starter full time, and then O.J. Howard obviously has not shown it yet.
How surprised are you that as we sit here talking today that both of your coordinators, and Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles, are still your coordinators and have not gotten head coaching opportunities?
No, it's very surprising. I thought, especially Byron Leftwich with Jacksonville, he has the ties there, interviewed twice. Then, in the 11th hour, the Saints jump in and interview him as well. So it's surprising. With Todd Bowles, he had his chance with the Jets. And I mean, I'm not, you can't really knock him for that because who's successful with the Jets in the last 20 years? So it's not really, it's hard to be successful there. So, but he hasn't even gotten a lot of calls as well. So it's really surprising because they've done a really good job here in Tampa.
And with Bruce Arians, obviously he's retired once. He came out of retirement for Tampa. I mean, how long do you see him doing this?
I feel like, at least he's got at least a couple more years left. I think he's got 2 years left in his contract. He said he's coming back next year. He's not thinking about retiring right now. So I would say for sure 1 more year, possibly 2 more.
Martin, we appreciate the visit as always, my man. Thanks for doing this. We'll talk down the road.
No problem, guys. Thank you so much for calling.
All right, that is Martin Gramatica, does a radio show down in Tampa, and we appreciate him joining us. I think O.J. Yeah.
I mean, he's certainly somebody I would kick the tires on.
Yeah.
That's the thing with free agent. I mean, I need to go look at the full list.
But this gets back to the issue. If you're in a normal world, as we sit here today, very practical guy to look at.
Okay.
But with the salary cap, if you're going to try to do the salary cap gymnastics, we're going back to the normal world now.
Yes.
Okay.
We're in the normal world.
Just want to make sure.
If you were
O.J. Howard is not going to command a ton of money.
No.
He's just not. He's underachieved. A lot of people think he's a bust. So I don't know what number you think is going to be attached to O.J. Howard, but he is when you look at the tight end list of UFAs, he's way down there. So he's not going to command a ton of money.
I'm trying to pull up that list. But
the ones I've looked at, Pro Football Focus and others, they got Mo Alley Cox ahead of him. So, come on.
I think his estimated market value is like $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say $2 million or less is what I was going to say. All right, we'll come back. We'll continue the discussion on the other side. I want to talk to you about Creation CBD, something that's we're pretty passionate about in our household. You hear me talk about it on the show because they present our show, and we appreciate that. But Creation is, if you're looking for, if you got aches and pains on your body and you're looking for a solution, like typically we are when we have those aches and pains, unfortunately, happens to me all the time, and it can be for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's because you're really active. You can get aches and pains because you're active. You can get aches and pains because you're getting older. You can get aches and pains just because your body isn't cooperating. There's tons of reasons, but you're looking for that solution. Well, Creation CBD is that solution. Creation means healing, and that right there says a lot. Creation is locally and organically sourced CBD products from right here in Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sale, Creation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use and for your pets, too. We got a lot of pet lovers that listen to this station and to this radio show. Maybe you've got a pet or pets that have anxiety issues, whether when you leave the house, you leave them alone, or there's thunderstorms, bad weather, Well, they've got treats that can calm them down. Or if you've got a pet or pets with medical issues, like our female German Shepherd, who's had seizures for years, and it didn't matter how many vet visits or pills she was on, as much as 12 a day, nothing changed. We've had her on the CBD oil since August. Everything has come to a screeching halt. We're in February. Nothing other than when we ran out for 5 days, and that was our fault. And she had many seizures. We got her back on the CBD oil, the pet tincture. It's ceased ever since. That was probably 6 weeks ago. Nothing since. It's been a life changer for her and for us. Do me a favor. When you check out at CreationCompany.com, at checkout, put in that code DDC25. That'll get you 25% off your order at CreationCompany.com. It's Creation CBD, curated for life.
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about our friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling and their heating and air stimulus plan. If your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of their special offer right now. They will double your tax refund up to $1,000. Huge savings with Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit that lasts with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months, no interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-819-1120. That's 800-819-1120. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-819-1120 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
Preds fans, the huge outdoor game at Nissan Stadium is coming up on February 26th, and you have a great chance to win tickets, plus save lives by donating blood. We're out here at the grand opening of the new Blood Assurance in Hermitage at 4686 Lebanon Pike. Stop by today and register to win a pair of tickets to the big game. Plus, we will be giving away to one lucky winner a limited edition Preds Stadium Series jersey. Come see us at the all-new Blood Assurance location in Hermitage, where we're giving away Preds Stadium game tickets all day.
Want the latest on the Predators from the people that cover them?
Heck of a year so far for the Predators. They've been so much fun to watch.
Join Robbie Stanley for Preds Insiders every Monday at 6.
I feel probably as good about this group of 6 on D.
Presented by Dr. Kelly Rice on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase. It's Thursday. Hope everybody's having a good day. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, Chase McCabe. The gang is all here, although Chase is on a pitch count.
I am.
We're kind of like pretending like we're the Tampa Bay Rays. He's not going to go the distance. He's just not.
I'm the
Maybe
starter.
tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
I'm the opener.
Well, for like the Rays, then we have like 7 people ready to come in from the bullpen that all throw 98 miles an hour with nasty analytics. That's the Rays. And you've never heard of any of them.
So I gave Elijah crap for not seeing Major League, and so it made me want to watch Major League. So
Did he watch it?
Have you watched it yet?
Not yet.
Oh, come on, man.
Boy.
Well, we also have established, thanks to Trey Wingo, that we have to put Bull Durham on the list as well, if you haven't seen that one.
Yeah, you definitely need to watch Bull Durham.
It needs to be a double feature.
He said that one was the greater crime, was not seeing Bull Durham.
He did. He's pretty passionate about that.
There's more layers to Bull Durham, with more realism.
Yeah,
like if you want, like this
Major
is
League's a comedy, but
yeah, and
it's
Bull
still-
Durham is as well. But there's more layers to Bull Durham. It's more to try to give you what the lifestyle of a minor league baseball player is like.
Bull Durham's pretty good.
It's funny.
But anyway, I watched Major League. I was like, all right, I'm going to watch it. So I watched it the other day, and I had that thought of watching these, Harris. They left Harris in basically the whole game. I'm like, man, we don't see this anymore. No guys going the distance.
No.
If you get 3 complete games in a season, you lead the majors. Pretty close.
No doubt.
Just doesn't happen.
Willie, have you watched Ozark yet?
Season
The new
4?
season?
I have not.
I mean, it's only half of the season is available. You got to, man.
Oh, it's
Get
going to
on.
happen. It's going to happen. Right now, I am
You've got
into a
this
show
break.
that I had never watched before. That is one of the all-time greats. Everybody's been telling me for years to watch it, The Wire. So I'm into The Wire right now.
Okay.
Went back.
You've got
throwback.
this window. You need to take advantage of it. You can binge it.
Well, just remember, we're going to start traveling again.
But you don't have anything till the 12th, and that's a home game.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying I gotta start staggering this stuff because March and April are going to be nuts. There's going to be travel all over the place, so I know I need to have my shows lined up.
Oh, you're saying you can knock out a lot of stuff on the road.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you watched Ted Lasso?
That's another. I don't have access to it. I would have watched it by now, but I just don't have Apple TV.
You can get a free trial and watch it.
I know the whole free trial. Then you have like
They
6
sign,
kick
right,
in.
then
You
you
got
gotta- they don't start
you got to
charging
cancel.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
That's
need
why
to-
they do it.
I know, but I
But I've had people say it's worth just.
I get that
It's
free.
worth Apple TV just to get Ted Lasso.
Oh,
That's
it's a
what
great
people
show.
say. They
I
think
just
it's great.
finished the first season because I'm one of those that I'm late to the party. Like when you were like, oh, you got to watch this TV show. I'm like, I'm going to let a couple seasons get there just so I can binge it because I hate I watch 5 episodes and then I got to wait. And then I got to actually make time every week when the new episode comes out to go watch it. So I kind of give it some time. And all my friends were like, you got to watch Ted Lasso. You got to watch Ted Lasso. And I just finished the first season, and it's worth it. It's fantastic. Hilarious.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Ozark?
No.
Wow.
No.
Wow, man, you're missing out. It's fantastic.
Maybe I'll jump in. See, after Ted Lasso, I have to go catch up on Book of Boba Fett because I watched The Mandalorian. So I gotta do that. Knock out a few things.
Yeah, they're piling up. They got a list.
know.
They got a list.
I'll
Gotta get
always
to.
have something that I have to go watch.
That's the whole idea behind these networks that get you these shows.
But I'm one of
Pile up
those
on it.
I can't watch multiple things at one time. I get locked in on one TV show.
That's a good question. That would be a classic 4 question.
Mhm.
Darren, is when you watch a show, especially these days when, like back in the day, you watched your shows when they came on the TV.
Right.
But now it's like, are you only going to go one show at a time, or can you watch
I
more
can't.
than one show?
I got to do one at a time.
You got to do one at a time.
Because I can't break.
You can't watch a couple episodes here, and then I'm going to go.
Yeah, no, because
You
I
don't
just
do
want
that?
to. I just want to keep going. Let's just keep going. If I'm going to keep watching something, I'll keep watching the same thing.
I also have trouble remembering what I've watched now. I'm getting to that age where
Well,
it's really
that's-
sad. I'm like, I've watched 3 seasons of this show, and I'm thinking back to season 1. What happened?
Yeah.
Must not have been that good then.
Well, it's also the hours of the show. You realize that you've watched 12 hours.
And they run together.
And then 12 more hours in season 2, and then minimum or whatever. And you're like, when it pops up, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I know who that guy is. But you're thinking back to those moments. That's why I know people that love rewatching the previous season before they go into the new season.
No.
It's been a while.
I will do that if there's been a long period of time in between.
And I'm like, you know what? I would probably benefit from that. I'm not going to do it, but
yeah, I mean, like, well, have you? Had
I was afraid of that with Ozark, but honestly, it just all came back.
Yeah,
it came back quick.
And that's kind of how it is with some things that like if there's a gap, it just I've rewatched some series, but I usually wait a few years before I do that.
I saw a promo for Ozark, but it was a promo for the original show. And when I watched that, I was like, I watched that whole thing, but it's been a couple years now. And I'm like, I don't remember that scene. Like, I know what it's about and everything. I've watched them all, but I'm like, I forgot about that.
I think what I love about that show is how good they are as actors.
Oh,
right?
they're awesome.
To be in that character
they're
is
fantastic.
The way they are, right? I mean, it's incredible. Like, I just wonder, like, is that really what they're made of? Is that kind of how, Laura Linney is made up? Is it really acting? Is she kind of got a little bit of that side to her? Is Ruth, is that kind of what she's like as a person? Like, Jason Bateman plays a lot of role. I just think it's incredible, like, in that character. I just love. That's what I love. I think the acting is unbelievable.
It's excellent.
I really do.
Well,
I
Jason
think it's
Bateman's
exceptional.
really good.
Highly recommended. Highly recommended. And Laura Linney, fantastic in that role. She's awesome.
She's kind of got a dark side. In
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Or not kind of. No, she definitely has a dark side in the show. She's not, I thought it was sweet Laura Linney. No, it's not sweet Laura Linney.
Complex character. Good writing.
Let's go down to the Borough. Barrett is standing by on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hey, guys, I heard you talking earlier about the race out at the L.A. Coliseum, and Willie was probably in a bullpen or a gymnasium somewhere and never saw this. But back in the 80s, the early days of ESPN, they used to have the Mickey Thompson off-road racing series, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life in motorsports. They're in the Coliseum, and they go up through the stands, like where the stairways would be, and they go through the columns, in the concourse, and come flying out all the way down to the playing surface in like quads and dune buggies and crazy dirt. It's an all dirt track, and it's some of the coolest thing you could ever see. I'm sure it's all over the YouTube. You can go back and watch it. Just look up L.A. Coliseum off-road racing. Can you imagine watching or being in like a dune buggy and come out of the concourse and just go off airborne 75, 80 feet down to the surface? Amazing stuff. Really killer, dude.
Barrett, you're bringing back memories for me, and Darren will remember this as well, of the early days of ESPN where, when I was a teenager and I first got cable, you're like, this is great. I have MTV and I have ESPN, and you just flip back and forth between the two. But you're like, I want to watch sports. But some of the stuff that I spent time watching on ESPN, I can't believe I watched it. Like games that I'd already seen.
Australian rules football.
USFL football of a game that was played like 3 days before that they would just repeat over and over. Then some of these random motocross things and, stuff that they would have access to. The early days of ESPN are fascinating compared to what you see now. Some of the stuff they put on there. Rodeo.
Oh, they had a ton.
All kinds of stuff like that.
Hey, Barrett, thank you for correcting me. The fairgrounds is 5/8 mile. I said 3/8. It's 5/8.
Yeah, that's a pretty short track. I don't know how
I don't know why.
A mile around. I think that's a wreck waiting to happen for sure. But thanks, guys. Love the show. I just really wanted to share that with you because it's some awesome footage. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks. You do the same. Good stuff. All right, we'll come back. I don't know if you guys heard Jimbo Fisher go on a rant yesterday. Did you guys see it? Did you guys hear it?
No.
I saw a rant yesterday.
Oh, boy.
Up in Chicago, but that's not the one you're talking about.
No, we'll get into that with Elliot at 1. Wow. I mean, wow. We're going to hear some of that and discuss because he is mad. I mean, you talking about putting people on the list. He did not wait till tomorrow at noon. He just went on and did it yesterday. He put people on the list like Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin. I mean, he just went savage, right? We'll hear from Jimbo Fisher. We'll hear what he said and react on the other side. Darren Donick and Chase, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Friday at 8:30 on Robbie and Rex Show, we talk with the legend, Terry Chris, about all things Nashville Predators, presented by Copper Branch on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
If you're on the job day in and day out, you know living with pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders is miserable. The good news, QC Kinetics gets it. They understand guys like you.
They don't have the luxury of taking time off. They want to keep working. We are built for those guys that want to keep working and want to stay active. So the vast majority of who we see are the blue-collar guys like me and you.
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies, just like pro athletes have used for years, to get you lasting pain relief with no surgery.
I want you to continue working. I want you to continue exercising. The joints are made to be moved.
The treatments at QC Kinetics are fast and non-invasive.
It's not a lot of time commitment on your part. There is no downtime or recovery time. You don't need short-term disability with what we do. We want to keep you active.
Call QC Kinetics now to set up your free no-obligation consultation. Learn how you can get real pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024.
Hey folks, you missing football on Thursdays? I can relate to this, but you can still turn every Thursday into payday with NBA on TNT on FanDuel Sportsbook. Joe Rexrode here to let you know it doesn't matter if you win or lose. FanDuel is giving all customers $10 back every Thursday. You bet a $10 or more same-game parlay on any NBA on TNT game. Of course, the same-game parlays let you combine the money line, the point spread, all kinds of different player props into one wager. You got Lakers-Clippers. Lakers, very disappointing, underwhelming season. I think I'd go with the Clippers in this one. Of course, lots of different player props you can do. Perfect way to turn a small bet into a big-time scoring win or lose. You get $10 added to your account, guaranteed. So get $10 back every Thursday, win or lose, with TNT Thursdays. And if you're new to FanDuel, sign up with promo code Joe102. Get a Super Bowl special bet, 56-1 odds on either team to win the Super Bowl. You can turn a $5 bet into $280 in cash with that one. That's promo code Joe102 exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And you must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. Bonuses issue is now drop site credit expires in 7 days. Max bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
You probably wouldn't leave thousands of dollars on the table at a diner. Why leave thousands on the table with your tax return? Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you don't. This year, there are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits. Your Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro will help you track down every last one, so you get your biggest refund guaranteed. Don't leave thousands on the table this year. Discover thousands of dollars in tax credits instead.
Check, please.
Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
Nerds.
Dreaming of adventure beyond your backyard? NerdWallet can help you compare and find the smartest credit cards to get there. Use NerdWallet to compare travel cards with bonus miles to go from working from home to relaxing far, far away. Then use NerdWallet to compare cashback cards and turn everyday purchases into a beachside cabana big enough for the whole family.
Or sand for the third tower.
She's the only boss you'll be answering to this week. Nice castle. Compare your way there. Find the smartest financial products for you on NerdWallet.
Sunday.
Green flag and the Busch Clash is underway.
The NASCAR season is here as the best drivers in the Cup Series tackle the LA Coliseum for the first time in the Busch Clash. Coverage begins at 1:30
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
A lot of money is being spent, and just your thoughts.
Here's what I'm going to say, and this is point blank. This is point blank because here's my problem. There is no $30 million fund. There is no $5 million. There is no $10 million. This is garbage, okay? And it pisses me off that people, and here it comes from a site called Bro Bible by a guy named Slice Bread. Then everybody runs with it. So it's written on the internet as gospel. How irresponsible is that? And then to have coaches in our league and across this league say it, clown acts. All right? Irresponsible as hell. Multiple coaches in our league. And the guy's griping about NIL, griping about transfer portal, using it the most and bragging about it the most. That's the ironic part. You want character? I'll take it with any of y'all. It's a joke. It does piss me off. The other thing, when you look at vice president, I get another one. Vice president of Notre Dame. Supposed to be a reputable university, right? That's a heck of a person leading a reputable university. I'd be real proud if I hired that guy. Read it off Sliced Bread. It's funny, when Nick Saban said his quarterback got an $800,000 deal, it was wonderful. Now it ain't wonderful no more, huh? But ours, we ain't got that. Ours are on record what comes up. We ain't doing all them big deals. There ain't none on our place that we know of. That's funny when you do it. The hypocrisy is a joke. It's an absolute joke, and it's insulting to our staff, how hard we work, to how we do things, and it's insulting to Texas A&M because there ain't a better place to go to school and play ball. If you don't like it, we're coming on. Get used to it. All right? We ain't going nowhere. It's an absolute joke that people put the hard work in and do it. It's irresponsible, but it's funny when they get it, it's all okay. Ball games are changing, man. And it ain't because of NIL and what goes on. It's pretty irresponsible of all of them. They're clowns.
We'll go next.
If they got a problem with it, come see me. I ain't a hard guy to find.
Jimbo Fisher throwing daggers yesterday. Woo!
Slice bread.
Slice bread. Bro Bible.
Bro Bible. Slice bread.
Now, what
All right.
What does it say about the state of college football in the SEC that some poster named Slice Bread on a site called Bro Bible, a message board, Bro Bible, and it gets this much traction?
All right.
Where an SEC coach who signed a $75 million guaranteed contract just gets a flamethrower out and goes nuts at a press conference.
Yeah, and talks about irony. The irony here of a guy that signed one of the richest contracts in history, $75 million, and he's bitching and moaning about them calling him out for $30 million for NIL deals with Texas A&M.
Bro Bible.
From Bro.
Well, I think what he's meant. Look, for people who are just, hearing this and like, what is Jimbo Fisher so mad about? Well, Texas A&M had the number one recruiting class. Yesterday was the second layer of National Recruiting Day, and A&M came in with the number one class. You remember when Ole Miss did this, and we know how that all played out, right?
Yeah.
And so naturally,
there was some sliced bread there.
Yes, there was. I'm sure Bro Bible and sliced bread had something about Ole Miss's recruiting habits, and they were number one.
They were right.
And they were right. And so immediately people are, wondering, how does Texas A&M get the number one class? Like, they've had like a top 5 class like twice in the last, 12 years. And now they've got the number one class. Like, how did that happen? And that's what Jimbo Fisher's really, that's what he's really mad about. Like, people are basically saying, like, you didn't do this on the up and up. But how about him going after Nick Saban? He went after Little Nicky.
Oh, he went after everything.
Hard. He went after Lane Kiffin. Hard. He went after the new president at Notre Dame. Hard. He left no stone
Well,
unturned.
Lane had a great line. Lane said Texas A&M was going to incur a luxury tax in how much they paid for their signing class.
Sliced bread.
Sliced bread.
Look, whatever you think about Lane Kiffin, he's good for business. He is.
Yeah.
He's good for our business.
But this is the reality. Lane Kiffin is dead on right with what he's saying because this is the vicious cycle of college football and really college basketball when you get down to it. When you have the blue blood or whatever you want to call it, the traditional powerhouses that have been great for generations, nobody bats an eye when Alabama has the number one recruiting class or Ohio State or Michigan. Oh, yeah, okay, they get the top. If you're one of those outsiders that's trying to compete with them, you're playing in the same league, you're recruiting the same players, you're trying to beat them, and you happen to beat them, everybody makes the assumption that you're cheating to do it. But, like, how do you ever get in and become one of those teams if you can't recruit with them? So it's always the dilemma, and that's why a lot of coaches from schools like that have been caught cheating because as soon as you do that, if your recruiting class is too much, red flags go up and you go under the microscope. And often, through the years, people have been right. That's the only way they've been able to do it is they cheat.
What is Texas A&M known for having? A lot of
cheaters,
money.
Yeah.
So why is anybody surprised by any of this?
Right.
Well, okay, but this is what's new. The NIL is supposed to alleviate this because now we're in a new world. So
right, but it's
you're
still
trying to do it.
But now you can openly use it as a recruiting
100%. So why?
Yeah, but
why
he's
is he worried
denying
about
it? I know, but he's denying it, which I don't understand.
Which is
why.
silly.
Why? Why not just say the NIL is open to a new can of worms here? Now we can use our resources differently
Because if
than
I'm
we
him,
used to, and it's on the up and up.
If I'm him,
this is the can of worms we opened.
Be mad at the powerless and useless NCAA that is just like, okay, sure, we'll do NIL and not put any regulations and rules or anything on it.
It's the Wild West in Texas.
And it's what Saban, he wants to take snipes at Saban. It's what Saban said at SEC Media Days. I sat in the room while he said it of, hey, this is great for the kids, but we got to have some guidelines here. Because it's going to be the Wild Wild West. And guess what it is right now? It's the Wild Wild West. And so if it's the Wild Wild West and the sanctioning body that, again, has no power, doesn't care about it, and the conferences don't care about it, and the schools don't care about it, then use it. Then good for the kid. Now, what's that going to do for the game? What's that going to do for them moving forward? Well, you're going to see. But I mean, there's no rule that says you can't. So if you got a guy with deep pockets that's willing to pay to get the quarterback or whoever to come to Texas A&M, good for the kid. That's how I look at it.
They had 29 commits, 7 5-stars, which was obviously more than anybody, 19 4-stars, which was more than anybody, and then couple 3-stars just for measure. I think probably the punter.
Who
maybe
knows?
Insert joke.
here.
Long snapper. But I just think it's I don't understand why he says, and it wasn't in that clip, but he talked about all of our stuff's on record. It's all there. You can see it. Who's NIL? What they're getting. I just don't know why.
But what did sliced bread say?
I don't know. I didn't see what
Get used to it.
sliced bread said on the message board.
What was that site again?
Bro Bible.
I was trying to set Elijah up.
Bro Bible.
Thank you. Thank you, Jimbo.
Sliced bread.
We could have a Jimbo sound.
Does anybody can you imagine whoever is basically the egg on Bro Bible that is sliced bread, what they're thinking today? All the attention they've
He's a legend.
gotten.
It's probably Nick Saban. That would be awesome.
If it was going to be anybody, it would be Lane Kiffin.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Plot twist, it's Les Miles. That's all he has to do.
But why is he getting so defensive? That always I don't think that looks good.
Because he's guilty as hell. That's why. And he got
But how can you
out
be
for
guilty?
it.
How can you get caught? How can you be cheating if the NIL gives you full
because
weight
they've
to be
done
able to do this?
Because they've done this for years. Let's just be real here. They've done this stuff for years, and now you can legally cheat.
So why is he defensive about it then? Why not just say, "Hey, I'm using these are the rules now"?
Because he's feeling like he's getting because he won the contest. He has the number one recruiting contest.
Defensive about it.
So
don't
now
get
he
insecure
feels like
about
he's
it.
getting picked on, and so he's going to be pissy about it.
I know, but I think what Willie's asking is why. What do you care?
What do
honestly,
you have to
got
hide?
the number
Say,
one.
we beat you guys.
You got the number one. I don't understand why he decided to go down some of these roads. He also brought up, you didn't hear in the clip.
Worms.
Well, he was like, "Have you ever been to Texas A&M? You ever seen the 12th man? You ever seen our stadium experience?
I know.
Have you ever seen our campus? It's beautiful. It's the greatest college in the country." And it's like, yeah,
And people
Jimbo,
just discovered this last year,
right? Come on, Jimbo, stop, really, have you seen our biology department? I mean, it's best one in the country. Yeah, because that's why this happened. Because of your campus, because of your 12th man, that's something new. I mean, you know what I mean? Why are you going down that rabbit hole? Why?
That's my question. Bro Bible really got to him.
I guess so. Well,
Bro Bible.
What got to him is probably the fact that everybody was
Bro Bible.
bringing it to light. Here's a message board, and it went everywhere.
Sliced bread.
Can you imagine what Paul Feinbaum's show, 4 hours, is going to be Bro Bible and sliced bread?
No
Sliced
question.
bread.
No question.
Right? And they're going to be trying to get to the bottom of who sliced bread. I mean, 4 hours minimum, maybe a week's worth of shows. Bro Bible, sliced bread.
Texter on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHoliday.com, Patton, or you can be Tennessee and pay players and still lose, coming from a big Tennessee fan, # McDonald's bags.
Big Mac. Big
Get
Mac.
used to it.
You got
They actually
got a problem. See me.
Come see me.
Some of the surprises, though, Kentucky and Missouri actually did really, really well. You know, two programs you would not expect. I think Florida had the worst class of anybody in the SEC. Kentucky and Missouri, depending on where you looked, were just outside the top 10. They were like, you know, both of them in between 11 and 14, depending on the site. I wonder if Stoops is going to go crazy, or Trinkowitz.
I don't know.
Is sliced bread coming after them?
Ball games are changing, man.
All right, we'll come back, wrap up hour number 2 next.
This is Colton Sissons, and this is Smashville.
Feeds now. Sissons coming on from the left circle, and Colton Sissons puts it in the net.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 1025, The Game.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Temperatures will be falling from the 40s to the 30s the rest of the day. Rain will be transitioning to freezing rain by this evening.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
Hey everybody, Robbie Stanley here to tell you about my friends at Jasper's. Jasper's is a casual restaurant and bar located on West End Avenue, equipped with TVs, a game room available for private events, a grab-and-go market, and free parking. Yes, free parking. This neighborhood spot is Nashville's new go-to restaurant and bar. You can try their selection of elevated bar food ranging from appetizers to chicken sandwiches to flatbread pizzas and the famous Smash Burger, as well as any of their delicious cocktails. So visit my friends at Jasper's, located at 1918 West End Avenue, and tell them that Robbie sent you.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-819-1120. That's 800-819-1120. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-819-1120 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Preds fans, the huge outdoor game at Nissan Stadium is coming up on February 26th, and you have a great chance to win tickets, plus save lives by donating blood. We're out here at the grand opening of the new Blood Assurance in Hermitage at 4686 Lebanon Pike. Stop by today and register to win a pair of tickets to the big game. Plus, we will be giving away to one lucky winner a limited edition Preds Stadium Series jersey. Come see us at the all-new Blood Assurance location in Hermitage, where we're giving away Preds Stadium game tickets all day.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Joe Corey coming up at noon to kick off hour number 3. Right now, you can kick off ending hour number 2 by calling in and be caller number 6. 615-737-1025. Pair of tickets to see Bon Jovi at Bridgestone Arena on April 30th. That's our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Caller 6. Good luck. It pays to listen to Darren, Donick, and Chase. We'll see what happens. Jim Harbaugh has contacted Michigan and told them, I'm back. I was just kidding, guys. I'm not going to Minnesota. What? What do you guys... What's everybody talking about? I'm good. I'm coming back. He's informed the Vikings. I'm coming back. I'm no good. Well, by the way, the Vikings, what came out of this is it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion, even from Jim Harbaugh. If you read the accounts, that he wasn't talking to anybody. He was telling them he told his players, like, this is a real possibility. He was trying to be upfront and honest. And it was almost like he thought he was getting this job. And next thing you know, maybe not.
Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of thought that, with the jobs that, he was linked to, he was going to get one of them, but guess not.
There was a great account from Michigan's perspective, and it's not, by somebody that works. It's Nick Baumgardner, who writes for The Athletic, had a very interesting account just from the perspective of watching this if you're the Michigan people. And basically it's this. They've bent over backwards to try to provide Jim Harbaugh with everything that he wanted to build the program. They have done everything that they wanted. Upgrade the weight room, the facilities. You want to have your spring practice down at IMG. Sure, we can do all that. Write the check, blank checks. And in exchange for that, of course, Jim Harbaugh is under an incredible microscope. He gets carved up for not winning the championship and all that stuff. But apparently this was very, very icy, right? He was scheduled to meet with the AD on January the 1st down in Florida. The AD shows up for the meeting, and he doesn't. And they've basically been just twisting in the wind, Michigan, while Jim Harbaugh sows his oats and goes and looks to see if he wants. So it sounds like a leverage play kind of for Harbaugh. I don't know if – I guess he probably really was interested in the job. But in the meantime, I think he was willing to just sit there and go, okay, you don't like what I do as the coach of Michigan? Not satisfied? All right, I'm just going to leave you hanging right now. I'll go look however I want to look. You want to fire me? Fire me. It's like it was kind of it's a really interesting dynamic that was documented in this thing. That is a really interesting plot going on because now he's back, and now how are all the relationships up there? Everybody good?
Well, if you read the accounts, his coaching staff was following Twitter to see what was going to happen.
Because they were going to find out like
you're coming into the office every day and you don't know what's going on. His defensive coordinator got hired by his brother to go take the Ravens job.
That's correct. Just think about it. Your coaching staff was following Adam Schefter and Twitter, social media, to find out if he was going to Minnesota or not to be the Vikings coach. I mean, he's coming back, and he's like, I'm back. Hey, everybody, nothing to see here. But is there a ripple effect from that? I mean, I don't know how that's going to go over. There's a lot. That's a lot of weirdness going on in a short amount of time.
Apparently, there was a pay cut. Remember that they had a really weird pandemic season in 2020. I think they were 2-4. They only played 6 games. Remember the Big Ten was late starting and all that stuff. And I'm just reading off the article here. Harbaugh still had 1 year left on his original deal at that point, after the 2-4 year. But it would be unusual for a college football coach to enter such a season with no clarity about his future. So, per multiple sources, he was not happy with the pay cut he agreed to in accepting the extension. So he got extended, but he took a pay cut. I guess they justified it by there were no fans and everything like that. Revenues go down. The incentive-laden deal secured him through 2025, but cut his salary in half to $4 million in 2021. Oh, guys, I don't know if I get by with $4 million.
Wow.
And incremental raises in the years that follows. And there's logic there. You know, they lost all that money. Let's, you know, as we build back the revenue, we'll build your salary back up. But it doesn't mean Harbaugh, I guess, had to like it. So it's been a little icy there. So now the new chapter ahead. They finally win the Big Ten. They should have a really good team next year. But
they did really well in the recruiting class. That was another thing.
Yes.
They did really well in recruiting. They finished in the top 10.
Which is
expected. When you're at Michigan, you're sort of expected.
Yes.
Right, but when your head coach is being heavily rumored to leave for the NFL, I mean, that's you know, that's still pretty impressive. So
yeah, I mean, that could have come out yesterday on National Signing Day, right? Like, oh, by the way, you've signed up for Michigan. He just took the Vikings job. So recruiting was good. I mean, I know you laugh at Foreman, but, I mean, in today's landscape of what college football, it is Michigan. That's chump change. That's
it was cut in half.
Yeah, from $8 million. Yeah, I don't know. That is. I mean, look, Jim Harbaugh, no secret. It's not breaking news. Don't need the sounder, Elijah. He's a weird, quirky cat to begin with. We know that. He's wired differently. He is a weird dude. So should we be surprised? You talked about, no showing the AD. Not saying anything to his staff, not communicating anything to them. I mean, does that surprise anybody, the way all the stuff we've heard about him over the years? I mean, he's just a weird dude.
Bucking with the AD that happens all the time, everywhere, even with the people that hired you sometimes. The relationship, it's tough. But your inner circle, your coaches, man, I would hope that he's keeping
those
in
are the
better
people you
contact.
hired.
That's your crew, man.
Right.
You don't leave those guys twisting in the wind.
Yeah, no doubt. Alabama finished second, Georgia third, Ohio State 4. So usual suspects right below Texas A&M. You had Texas in there. I think Texas, most sites had them in the top 5 or just outside it. So they did very well. Jimmy Franks at Penn State in there, Notre Dame in there. Probably why they kept Freeman on board and made him the head coach, because they knew they had a really good recruiting class, and probably a lot of it hinged on him. So they get a top 10 class. Oklahoma, Michigan, and Mac Brown again. North Carolina just keeps doing it. Good for him. He's getting the kids to Chapel Hill.
He decided a big extension.
I know. And why does
Big
anybody ever say about North Carolina? Like, he's had them in the top 10, like, recruiting ever since he's been there, and nobody really bats an eye. Is it because everybody loves Mac Brown?
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Must be. Great guy.
He is a great guy.
He is.
No, I know, but
Good coach.
It's North Carolina football, not basketball. All right. Congratulations, Chris Daly. Chris was lucky caller 6. So, Chris, go enjoy Bon Jovi at Bridgestone Arena in late April. And thanks for listening to the show. Willie, tell everybody about Loan Pronto.
All right.
Do it pronto.
Let's do it pronto. Loan Pronto, of course, knows that right now there's a great environment for you to have some success financially. Your home's value is way up. That means that you're in a position to improve your financial status by taking out a home equity loan, and you can do a tremendous job using that money now to your advantage. You can pay off credit cards, remodel your house, or do both through Loan Pronto. Just call them right now. The number is simple to remember, 615-499-5780. I'll come back to that in a moment. But Loan Pronto can convert the home equity into cash right now as little as 2 weeks with no cost to you and zero hassle. If you've never refied before, you really need to look into this. It's a no-brainer. And if you have, Loan Pronto has really improved this process. It's a lot easier than it used to be. So lots of folks are doing this. Here's an example. One local couple called Loan Pronto. They did a zero-cost cash-out refi. They took out a check for $100,000. They used $50,000 to pay all the credit cards off and a car loan. Used the other $50K to upgrade their master bath and kitchen. So they locked in a new APR in the twos, lowered their total monthly bills by hundreds of dollars. So what are you waiting for? Use this and come up with your plan to help your financial situation and put that money to good use. Do it now. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. How's that sound? Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
These few weeks that encompass Valentine's Day are often a time of intimacy, a time for lovers. But erectile dysfunction can put a serious damper on your relationship. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you have ED, you know exactly what I'm talking about. ED hurts relationships by often causing friction and frustration because most couples don't even know why ED is happening. But the truth is that ED is just a disease like any other. And fortunately, it can be effectively treated at the Tennessee Men's Clinic with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%. In fact, the treatments we offer could have you lasting up to an hour. And if you're like many men, you could even have great sex the day after your appointment. So this Valentine's Day, give the one you love something truly special and do something about your ED. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
Do you love Smashville? Join us February 12th and 15th to watch your Nashville Predators take on the Winnipeg Jets and Washington Capitals. Live from Bridgestone Arena. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to make sure you get a seat or two. Whether you're bringing your honey or getting ready for a night out with your pals, Smashville is the place you need to be. Secure your seat and bring your gold. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets to make plans with the Preds. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McKay. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game.
Third hour, Darren, Donick, and Chase here on this Thursday afternoon. Hope everybody's having a good day to this point. Darren McFarland, Willie Donick here with you. Love our chats with this man, Joel Corey, former sports agent. Does great work laying things out. He's got an article just dropped on CBS Sports. He now joins us. Joel, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Well, obviously disappointed in this market that the Titans are not in the Super Bowl, that their season came to an end a little too soon. But you know what happens when that happens? The market then talks about, okay, now, how everybody plays GM, including us, on the radio and how they figure all this stuff out. What do you think is probably one of the biggest challenges John Robinson's going to have this offseason?
One is lack of cap space. Last year the cap dropped to $182.5 million, which made things much more difficult for most teams. But the way I'm looking at it right now, preliminarily, assuming the cap's $208.2 million, which is the ceiling that was agreed upon by the NFL and NFLPA, they're about $7 million over. So they've got some work to do just to get cap compliant. So that's the first challenge, and they're 24 unrestricted free agents.
What do you think Harold Landry's agent is going to be telling the Titans, and how do you think ultimately it's going to play out, and what do you think his price tag will be, in your opinion?
Well, the first thing that I would be telling them is don't expect me to sign for anything less than Bud Dupree, because my guy did what you expected Bud Dupree to do, which was have 12 sacks, which was 10th in the NFL. So Bud Dupree's never had 12 sacks in a season. So if you want my guy to come back, we got to be north of that. The deal average is $16.5 million, max is at $17 with the incentives. That's a starting point as far as the agent should be concerned. Franchise tagging is a little bit of an issue. Linebacker number projects to just about 18.7. The defensive end number projects to 17.85.
Interesting. I was looking at your article on CBS Sports, and it was pretty interesting, the categories. Least valuable acquisition, former Titan Jonnu Smith in New England. Why do you think? Why did you come up with Jonnu Smith being? I know he didn't have the year, obviously, New England was looking for. In fact, they were using Hunter Henry down the stretch. But why do you think so far it hasn't worked out for Jonnu Smith in New England?
Oh, that's an understatement. He didn't have the year they expect him to have. One, I was a little surprised that the Patriots decided to pay two tight ends $2.5 million per year. At the time, that made both those guys the third highest paid tight end in the league. There have been guys who subsequently surpassed that. But no one's going to confuse Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith as the second coming of Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez on the football field. That's what the Patriots had in the early 2010s when they made those two the highest paid tight ends. Jonnu Smith getting $2.5 million per year shocked me, quite honestly. For a guy who's never had 50 catches or 500 receiving yards in a year, he made the life miserable for every other team trying to re-sign a tight end like Mike Gesicki and Dalton Schultz. David Njoku, who hasn't been that productive in Cleveland, are going to point to that deal, his lack of production this year, and go, I want more. I had a guy as a runner-up who's a Titan for that category, Julio Jones.
Well, the Titans are going to be we suspect the Titans are going to be in the market for a tight end. They desperately need to upgrade that market. You just brought up guys like Gesicki and Dalton Schultz. So you think they could be, north of $10 million per year, those guys?
Oh, no doubt about it.
Njoku?
Njoku's going to ask for it. I wouldn't be surprised if they franchise him, as unproductive as he's been. It's a guy with a first-round pedigree, can stretch the field, is athletic. If he'd been healthy, they don't pay Austin Hooper $10.5 million per year. Now, getting to Dalton Schultz, if you look at what this guy did this past season, in one season, he has more production than Jonnu Smith has in the past 2 years. I think he had 78 catches for 800 yards and 8 touchdowns, and Jonnu's at 70 for 750 and 9 touchdowns. You don't think his agent's going to use that when talking to teams?
Yeah. We had Martin Gramatica on last hour, and we got to talking about O.J. Howard because he is a UFA. He is a first-round pick that has underachieved. Some people think he's been a bust. What do you think the market is going to command for him? I mean, we suspect it's going to be a pretty low number, but how low?
Oh, that's a one-year prove-it deal. Once he tore the Achilles, then Rob Gronkowski came in. His role changed for Tampa. They may want him back. I suspect Gronkowski goes back into retirement with Tom Brady, who coaxed him out of retirement. But you're looking more opportunity than money. He made $6 million on the one-year option, on the fifth-year option this past year. I think it'd be less than that. Jared Cook signed for $4 or $5 to play for the Chargers last year with incentives. So you could do a deal for a lower base salary, heavily incentive-laden, and then if he performs up to the first-round pedigree, he's put himself in a whole different salary stratosphere. So I'm not doing a long-term deal coming off of the type of year he had this year.
We're talking to Joel Corey, and we're doing the cap exercises, trying to get the lay of the land going forward. So, Joel, I don't know how much you have heard some of the things that people throw out there. The frustration of losing in the first round and the way that Ryan Tannehill played has sparked a lot of discussion. What would it take to make a change at quarterback, a true upgrade for a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers? What I'm hearing you say when you're laying out some of the issues that the Titans have with their cap, it doesn't sound to me that it's practical at all. I felt that way from the start, but if you were to try to do that, how crazy would it be? And is there any way that you could make a net gain for your team in going down that road?
Yeah, well, you made it harder to do anything with Tannehill for 2022 with the restructure last year to accommodate Julio Jones' salary, because he converted, I think it was $23 million of salary into signing bonus, which freed up 18.4 cap space. That added to the 22, 23 cap numbers, and you tacked on 2 voiding dummy years, which just compounds the problem. The thing is, he's got a $38.6 million cap hit. If you traded him before June 2nd, you're going to have $28.4 million in dead money, which is a salary cap charge for a player no longer on the roster. His $29 million base salary is already fully guaranteed. So if you wanted to bring in a Russell Wilson, who would have to waive his no-trade clause, or an Aaron Rodgers, who apparently is buying land in Williamson County, in Franklin, you'd have to have the other team want Tannehill back in return at that number. And then even if you brought those guys in initially, you need enough cap space to accommodate their salaries. It's $24 million for Wilson, and it's just in the cap space you need for Aaron Rodgers is basically $27.5. So if you're just doing the simple math on that, you're losing 15.3 of cap space to add Rodgers, and then you're losing 13.8 if you're going to add Russell Wilson. Once you got him there, you could restructure the contract, and both these guys, particularly Rodgers, since he's in a contract year, would want a new deal. You wouldn't be giving up significant assets for either one of them. And if I'm those two teams, I want 3 first-round picks for either one of those guys, or at least I'm starting at that point.
Right. So let's say that, and to me, I'm out. You know, if you ask me, am I in on that? No, I'm not. But let's say that you wanted to continue down that road. You just were laying out just how hard it will be to sign a Harold Landry. How many players off your current roster do you think it would cost you to even try to make that happen?
Well, you can always restructure certain guys for cap room. There's certain guys you're thinking that are going to be cap casualties anyway, like a Kendall Lamb. Then depends on how far they want to go. The offensive line is going to be important to any quarterback, but Roger Saffold could be vulnerable in that case. Maybe Taylor Lewan. Janoris Jenkins could be a salary cap casualty. You probably would have to restructure Kevin Byard. You might restructure Bud Dupree as well. We saw last year at the Saints who had to shave like $110 million of cap commitments just to get under the cap, and then found a way to franchise Marcus Williams. You can do enough salary cap gymnastics if you really want a player. But if I'm representing Rodgers a little bit more so than Wilson, I want to be the first $50 million per year player in the NFL. Maybe Rodgers does the Drew Brees thing. When he was in his late 30s, he decided he was going to give the Saints a slight financial break. Maybe Rodgers doesn't need to be the highest paid player in the league anymore, but that would be Rodgers calling that shot. But if you leave it to the agent's devices, he's going to be the highest paid player in the league.
So I guess all that to say, Joel, if you're sitting there and you're the Titans and you want to make all that happen, and you end up at the end of the day with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, and all this happens, let's just say multiple first-round picks, you're giving him what he wants contractually, and you're doing all the gymnastics to get under the cap. At the end of the day, are you a better team, or would you have been better off just trying to make another increment with what you have in the house right now?
Well, it's going to be MVP most likely. you'd be the Nashville Rams because you wouldn't have any
Right.
premium picks. But they end up having a ton of picks because they acquire day 3 picks, and you better hit on them if you go that route. And then your window, to me, is only so large. Derrick Henry's got 2 years left on his contract, and maybe it was a blessing in disguise that he broke his foot because that was a ton of mileage you didn't put on him because he was well on his way to obliterating any type of usage records in a single season. I don't know if Derrick Henry gets another contract. I'd advise against it after the deal's up after the 2023 season because of diminishing returns. But that's really, to me, what your window's always been. When you sign Derrick Henry to a 4-year deal, you have Ryan Tannehill under contract through the same time. Julio Jones, when you traded from him, is on contract for the same time. So it's really that window. Maybe Rodgers extends it a little more because if you get him, you'd expect him to play at least 3 years, maybe 4 more. He said previously he wanted to do the Tom Brady thing and go into his mid-40s, so hopefully that would be the case. I don't think you're getting him, but we're just going through this exercise.
Yeah. I guess what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say is anything is possible, but if you're the Titans, is it worth really exploring this? Or this is me sitting here. I like what I've got. I'm not that far from where I need to go. If I can just get if I can get the best from my team and my quarterback, if I can get back there, I still think they're not far from winning the whole thing. And this is a huge risk to try to go down this road. But I don't know. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Anything's possible, but how practical is this?
No, it's not very practical. Realistically, Ryan Tannehill is your quarterback in 2022, and then we'll see what happens for 2023. You barely lost a game to the team representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, and you had a very challenging season because your most important offensive player missed half the year and was trying to shake off rust in his first game back. So you could look at it, the glass is half empty or the glass is half full. To me, it's more half full than half empty. Plus, you had John Robinson basically say Tannehill's our quarterback and then had some very nice things to say about Julio Jones, where he was just hitting his stride at the end of the season after basically being injured most of the year. That's one guy I would try to get to take a pay cut as opposed to releasing from the standpoint that what's he going to be worth in the open market after the type of year he's had? I know you have a $2 million salary guarantee that there's no offset, but A.J. Green signed 1 year for $6 million with incentives. They're about the same age. So if you get him to take a deal to $6 million, he can make up the rest of the salary he's cutting, which would be over $5.5 million in incentives. That might be a win-win for both sides.
Very intriguing. Joel, as always, fascinating stuff. Thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you again very soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, great stuff. Joel Corey always brings it. There's a lot to unpack there. We'll talk more when we come back. And let me tell you, in the meantime, as we get this thing started, if you suffer from chronic joint pain, don't assume that the steroid shots and the pain pills that maybe you've been dealing with or offered or surgery, those aren't the only options out there. You can now get real, lasting, life-changing relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using biologic therapies to repair damaged tissue in your aching joints. Success rate is excellent with this stuff. People with knee and back pain and shoulder pain, they're moving again, enjoying life again, getting out and doing the things that you love to do with the help from QC Kinetics. Advanced, unique treatment. It uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. They're put directly into your affected joint, and they go to work to soothe the inflammation and restore the damaged tissue. And then you're out, you're moving again. No surgeries, no drugs, no downtime. So call QC Kinetics and get a free second opinion and see if this is for you. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel on you the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
At Copper Branch, they live life to the fullest. Food is your energy and your life. Located in the heart of downtown Nashville, their goal is to serve you, your friends, and family quality, great-tasting, plant-based power foods. Visit Copper Branch at 601 Church Street for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with convenient and validated parking during library hours, and download their app for curbside pickup. Or come out for songwriter and live music nights several times throughout the week to empower, energize, and feel your best. Visit Copper Branch today.
This is Dan. Dan uses Navy Federal Credit Union to save and invest. Luckily for him, Navy Federal takes the legwork out of managing his money, which gives Dan time to work on other things, like his new auctioneering hobby. If you want to be like Dan, learn about our savings and investment options at NavyFederal.org/save and invest. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Bidder number 63.
Savings products insured by NCUA. Investment options are available through Navy Federal Investment Services and are not insured by NCUA.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase. Our show is presented by Creation CBD products, curated for life. Elliot Freeman will join us at 1 o'clock, so we'll get into all things hockey with him as the Predators are off until next Wednesday. They'll be down in Dallas to take on the Stars. Willie Donick and Elijah Campbell at our Hillside Medical Game Studios. Darren McFarland here. Good stuff from Joe Corey. All this stuff is very, very interesting. John Robinson, set it up, Willie. Commented on, what we've been talking about.
Well, he's down at the Senior Bowl, and he's been talking.
He's in Mobile.
He's been talking to Jim Wyatt. He had an interview with Mike Keith. So he had a 25-minute conversation. I'm looking at Jim Wyatt's article from down at the Senior Bowl. Here's what he said about Ryan Tannehill. You tell me if he is going to even go down this road at all of changing Ryan Tannehill. I'm of the belief that they will not even touch this, that Ryan Tannehill is coming back. So you tell me if you agree based on these statements. I think Ryan is a leader. I think Ryan is tough. I think Ryan has made a lot of great plays for us. He is our quarterback. I don't know that there is a quarterback who stands in the pocket and looks down the barrel of a blitz and throws the ball as good as he does. It should be as well, if you're grammatically correct. I get reminded about that from my wife all the time.
Oh, believe me, I know all about that. I know that feeling.
I know he works extremely hard, loves his teammates, is competitive. He's played a lot of good football. To have a micro-evaluation over one game is not fair to any player. I think you have to look at the scope of the body of work and what he has done for this football team since he has been here. So you tell me if you think that's a guy that's looking for a new quarterback.
Willie, come on. Now let's be realistic about it. He's a great teammate. He's a leader. Let's go over the key phrases. He's a leader. Is there a starting quarterback in the league that the head coach doesn't feel like they're a leader? Really? Did
you think Marcus Mariota was a good leader?
What do you think?
I think there's a reason they traded for Ryan Tannehill.
You listened to me for years. What do you think? Do you think that John Robinson wasn't saying the same stuff about Marcus Mariota? Works hard, great guy. Lee, what do you want him to say? What do you honestly think John Robinson's going to say?
Okay, but honestly, do you think Ryan Tannehill's a better leader than Marcus Mariota? I think the answer is pretty clear.
I think the answer is absolutely yes. Were we not sitting there at training camp when Mike Vrabel made the comments about Marcus Mariota, and we talked about it for about an hour?
Okay,
but you're saying quarterback needs to take more of an initiative?
Darren, you're missing my point. Yes, people are always going to say nice things. They're not going to rip a guy publicly. But let's look at the real stuff. When he says Ryan is a leader, there is no question he is a very good leader. I think Ryan is tough. Would anybody question his toughness?
Nope.
Okay.
But what does that mean?
Now, you could say Marcus Mariota was tough, and he probably was.
Yes.
But Ryan Tannehill is tough and stays out there. He hasn't missed a start.
But I mean, I don't want to say who cares, because that's way too strong, because it does matter. Because we know you have to be available. So I don't want to diminish that he is tough. But I mean, once again, he's not allowed to comment on Aaron Rodgers. Let's just put that out there right now. He's not allowed to comment on it. It's called tampering. He cannot comment on him. So he can only talk about Ryan Tannehill. He can't talk about Russell Wilson. He can't talk about Aaron Rodgers. It's tampering. What else do you think the general manager of the Titans that brought him here and owes him a ton of money, which he's getting an $8 million raise, what else is he going to say about Ryan Tannehill?
Okay, let me again.
I don't know.
What else is he going to say?
I like Ryan, but he needs to step up. I mean,
okay,
a little disappointed.
I'm going to give you a question, Darren. You asked this. I'll throw it back to you. What did the Colts general manager say about his quarterback? Did he say the same thing?
He did not.
Okay.
He did not. Which tells me Chris Ballard is a pretty emotional guy, because he seemed to be caught up in the moment of, I don't know what his future. I don't remember how he worded it, but it certainly was the stamp of approval.
He left it wide open about what the future is. This is this is not a 10 out of 10 in terms of emphatic. Like, he could have said, John Robinson could have said, we are not going down the road of changing quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill will be the quarterback. But this might be an 8 or a 9. He says he is our quarterback. And to have a micro evaluation over one game is not fair to any player. You look at the scope and the body of work. So if I'm reading between the lines there, I'm interpreting that as I'm set at quarterback. I got a long list, and Joel Corey just laid out how dire it is. They have a ton of really tough decisions to make to stay where they are. So the exercise of trying to do, and you heard Joel Corey lay this out as well, to try to go down the road of getting Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson is a fool's errand. It's way too much. You may not succeed at it to begin with. And what about all these other things that you've got to get done, starting with Harold Landry and going down the list? I think he's made up his mind. I'm going to go and try to get my team across the finish line, hope that my quarterback comes up big next time we get to that point. It's my job as the general manager to get them back to that position.
Well, I'm going to push back on John Robinson and say this is not about one game. Like, other people may make it about one game. This is not about one game. I'll remind everybody, 2 years ago, I said go get Tom Brady and upgrade the quarterback position over Ryan Tannehill. I also was happy when Ryan Tannehill got here, because I had already determined way prior to that Marcus Mariota was not good enough. Okay, this is not about one game. Okay, Ryan Tannehill had a very, very average season. He didn't have a very good season at all. And at one point, pretty deep into the season, he had 14 touchdown passes to 13
Yes,
picks.
Again, I'll go back to the quote. What has he done for this
game.
Football team since he has been here? The scope of the body of work. Don't micro-evaluate one game or even a section of a season. nobody is arguing with any of that, Darren. I'm not arguing with that. I could sit here and tell you how tough those games were with what he had to work with. No Derrick Henry, offensive line issues, receiver issues, all around. Let's not go back through that. The question that keeps coming back up is, what do you do? Are you really going down the road of making replacement? And if the answer is no, then I don't know why we're wasting all the time talking about Aaron Rodgers building a house and all this stuff, because they're not going down that road. Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback. So that's just where I stand on it. Mm-hmm. I know, when you turn on this afternoon, Jared is going to have his next thing where he lays out all of the salary cap stuff and how many first-round picks he's going to trade and trade Kevin Byard. All that's fine. But you're wasting your time. I see that there's no significance at all of Aaron Rodgers building a house here. I think there's zero significance. It comes down to this. Does John Robinson want to try to change the quarterback? I don't think he feels like it's a practical thing to do.
I think there was 3 sources that Jared had yesterday and that he quoted, okay? He had 3 layers to his story yesterday. 1, he's in the process of building a home in Nashville. You know what I give that? A big whoop. Who cares?
I agree.
There's famous people moving and building houses in Nashville.
Yes.
Music, sports, every day, all the time. All the time. And it doesn't mean a hill of beans. It means nothing. It's what we've known for the last 6 years. It's arguably the hottest market in the country. Certainly one of the hottest markets in the country. Okay, so big whoop. Aaron Rodgers is building a home here. Who gives a damn? That doesn't mean anything. Okay, the other one, his other source. Packers teammates do not expect Rodgers to be back in Green Bay. Again, big whoop. Is that breaking news? We've watched this whole thing play out in front of our eyes for the last 2 years. Okay, that's not anything new. What is new about that? But the other one does grab my attention. That Rodgers, and I don't know who he's getting this from, Rodgers is open to joining the Titans. So I don't know who he's talking to that is willing to go off the record and say, hey, because you are implying you have heard from Aaron Rodgers' mouth that he is willing and open to joining the Titans.
Let's come back to that. I want to explore that and talk about that when we come back.
All right, let's do that on the other side. Also, Doug, we'll get your phone call in as well as you listen to the DDC here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexroad for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takeuchi dealer.
When purchasing your next vehicle, it's nice to know that you can deal with a locally owned dealership like Payne Chevrolet that has been in the same family for over 96 years. Home of the lifetime powertrain warranty on new and pre-owned vehicles, Payne Chevrolet also makes it easy to shop. You can literally go to PayneChevrolet.com, point, click, and drive away in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Check out Payne Chevrolet in Springfield on Memorial Boulevard or go to PayneChevrolet.com. Payne Chevrolet, 9 decades, 4 generations, and 1 tradition.
The National Wild Turkey Federation's 46th Annual Convention and Sports Show is February 16th through the 20th at Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center. Celebrate a year of conservation success with the National Wild Turkey Federation members, volunteers, and partners. You can expect the same great nightly events, quality entertainment in the watering hole, and the latest gear from more than 350 companies featured in their exhibit hall. For more info, go to nwtf.org.
Your home value is way up. You can use that money now to pay off credit cards or remodel your house, or both. Hey, Willie Donner for Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto can convert that home equity into cash as little as 2 weeks from now with no cost to you and zero hassle. Mike and Joan in Brentwood called Loan Pronto and they did a Loan Pronto zero cost cash out refi. They got a check for $100,000. They used $50,000 to pay off all of their credit cards and a car loan. Use the other $50K to upgrade their master bath and kitchen. They locked in a new APR in the 2s and lowered their total monthly bills by hundreds of dollars. Hello? What are you waiting on? Call Loan Pronto now and convert your home value into cash. Put that money to good use. Do it now and you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615
499-5780 or lowpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Hillside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free, plus a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Saturday.
Heels inside, muscles it up and in.
Wheeler, left hand, right side. It's a classic battle between two rivals as Duke takes on North Carolina. Coverage begins at 4:45
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Pete Weber. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Thank you, Pete. Pete's heading to Vegas, going to the All-Star Weekend festivities. We'll probably talk to him on Monday and have him tell us all about it. Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase. All right, we're going over the 3 layers that Jared put out there yesterday. His sourced, according to him, he had sources on this. And the 3 layers is that, 1, Aaron Rodgers had purchased land and was in the process of building a home here. Okay, I put that into the big whoop category. Famous people, athletes, build homes or buy homes here all the time. We're numb to it by now. It means virtually nothing. So what? He stand in line, Aaron Rodgers, with all the other famous people that live here. The other one, current Packers teammates do not expect Rodgers back in Green Bay. It's been said basically all year this was it. That's why I predicted Green Bay to go to the Super Bowl. I thought this was it for him in Green Bay, and he would go out on top. I thought that he was going to get to the Super Bowl and win it. Okay, so I don't put any stock into that. But the one that really interests me is that he was also told that Rodgers is open to joining the Titans. Now, that one piques my interest because you're directly telling us that someone told you they either spoke to Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Rodgers spoke to someone they know, and Aaron Rodgers told them, yeah, sure, I'd play for the Titans. That's the one that really got my interest. What about you, Willie?
Well, I would just like to explore that part of it. If you're Aaron Rodgers and you have publicly done everything but burn the bridge, I guess there is a scenario where he does go back there next year.
Where he does go back to Green Bay?
I think there is a scenario.
A scenario,
There were a lot of people at this time last year going, it's over, it's done, he's gone. And over time, I think even Aaron Rodgers looked around and said, you know what? I might as well just stay. It's not going to be better anywhere else. We're a pretty good team. And even though my complaining and belly aching publicly, what's better? So in my mind, he has to be open to going almost anywhere. You want to create options for yourself. But I think he found that the reality was last year cap for what he would like. Unless he's out there going, I'll go anywhere, I'll play for $10 million. I'll make it easy for you. Which I don't think he's going to do. You just heard Joel Corey say he's going to want to be the
highest paid quarterback
in the league, which he deserves. But I don't know if you could have your cake and eat it too. So how many people will really get into that game is what I'm asking. So to me, he has to have an open mind for everybody if he really wants to get out of Green Bay.
Right, but it has my interest that it specifically say joining the Titans. That means he is told that to someone.
Okay, maybe so. I don't doubt that at all. That's probably dead on accurate. But isn't it possible that somebody from Denver could have asked that same person, is Aaron open to coming to Denver? Yeah, he's open to it. Like, what's different? Like, he's open to any good team that looks like they might win. Like, he may not be open to going and play for the Lions. But if you just pick a team, they're good, they might be looking for a quarterback. Are you open to playing for this team? Hypothetically. Why would he say no?
Yeah.
So So what stock do you really put into that? Honestly, I don't put a whole lot into it. I don't blow it off. I don't think it's untrue. But I think we get back to what's practical. Now, is he open enough to say, I'm going to make it worth your while? I want to come to Tennessee, and I think you guys got a heck of a team. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to come for nothing. Basically, I'm going to pay for pennies on the dollar.
I'll take a lot.
That's the only thing that could make it happen.
Because Tom Brady has done that over the years. He has. He's left a lot of money on the table. Tom Brady to win, right? How
now,
serious
if you talk
is
to
Aaron
some
Rodgers
people, they will
winning?
say that they found ways to get that money reimbursed.
I know. I know where you're going with that, and I don't disagree. Let's go to Doug, who's been waiting patiently on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hey, guys, I'm with you on the practical side, Willie. It's, I'm a Bills fan, and I kind of watched how Josh Allen developed with a good offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. I mean, he was horrible in some of those playoff games, like against Houston, and the mistakes he was making. I think Tannehill can be your guy and then invest in Landry and others. I think they need another speedy receiver, and in somebody like what the Bills did. They brought that Isaiah McKenzie in to give them that speed to try to replicate a Tyreek Hill. And I think Tannehill will be just fine, but he needs a quarterback coach. He needs somebody who can kind of be the quarterback whisperer, if you will, to get his mind right, because he's good enough, but he's not the centerpiece of the offense. Derrick Henry is. Derrick Henry shouldn't have run the ball as many times as he did in the playoff game. They had the other kid, number 7, who was fabulous, and they went away from that. But my point is, you have to have the full team for Tannehill to win. You can't bring in Aaron Rodgers if you don't plug up those holes that we would have, the Titans would have, because Tom Brady couldn't have gone to Carolina like he did in Tampa Bay and win. Tom Brady won because the Bucs were full and they were a complete team. So I'll hang up and listen to you.
We don't think this team is a complete team?
Well, it's not that. It's what would you have to give up? How less complete would the rest of your team be to squeeze in Aaron Rodgers if we're talking about the highest paid quarterback, which is upwards of 45. Right now, his cap hit for next year under his current contract is $46 million. Plus the dead money for Tannehill is $25 million. And all of the draft picks that you've got to give up. And then what that does to your cap, you might have to subtract some other players that otherwise you might have. So I don't know if it's as complete a team. That's been my position on it. I think the better way, and this is just me, is let's keep the formula as close to what we have as possible, and let's try to make those incremental gains. I agree with Doug. Let's look into ways. How do you get more out of Tannehill next year? Save for obviously staying healthy and putting a good team around him. That goes without saying. But what are the tweaks in the roster, and what are some things in the offseason that he can work on to try to have a better year next year? I think he'll be dedicated to that. He wants to do it. That to me is a better pathway.
If you're not going to change anything around him,
you are going to change.
Why do we expect?
You are going to change some things.
Todd Downing's coming back, so maybe the quarterback whisperer that he was talking about was Arthur Smith, and he's gone. So if you're not going to change anything around him, why do we expect the results to be, completely different? He may have a better look. I suspect he'll have a better regular season. To me, I'm not talking about the regular season. I'm talking about the end result. What does it look like in January and hopefully February? That's the ultimate goal.
But why? I don't understand why you think he just automatically couldn't bounce back with a good playoff season next year. Assuming, I don't assume that they can get back there next year. The hardest part is getting back there. But let's say they do get back there. Why couldn't he, just like any number of athletes in the past, change the storyline and have a good postseason. What's wrong? Why couldn't that happen? I don't think
because the previous year he had a much better regular season and did not have a good game against Baltimore, and they lost at home in the first round.
How many sports stories have there been?
I
use the Washington Capitals. Everybody say Alex Ovechkin can't do it. Year after year, they failed in the playoffs tons of times, and then he broke through. I think that can happen. I don't think it's impossible
with Barry
that
Trotz,
happens.
A different coach.
They got beat with Barry Trotz by the Penguins year after year with Barry Trotz at the helm.
What year was it when they won?
2018.
Barry was there. Was it year 4? No, I mean, what was the year that –
Year 4.
How long had he been there as year 4?
They didn't bring Barry Trotz back after they won it because he was almost fired twice during that season that they won it. So the narrative can change.
A little tingly feeling in his back, too. Let's go to Angela, who's up next on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hey, guys. I want to revisit the Aaron Rodgers building a home in Nashville and get your take on my thoughts. So,
okay.
To me, when you build a home somewhere, that's going to be a close to permanent thing, if he's designing it the way he wants it. So both of his brothers live here, and he doesn't have a great relationship with his family. So
I don't believe Jordan Rodgers lives here. Jordan lives – he lived in Dallas, but I think the last time we talked to him, I don't think he lives in Dallas anymore. Jordan doesn't live here. I'm pretty sure of that.
Okay. Because I was just wondering why he would want to build a home somewhere. I know Nashville is a great market, but why he would want to build a home somewhere close to family that he's not close to if there wasn't an ulterior motive.
Well,
coming to the title.
The benefit, I don't pretend to know what's in his head at all, but the benefit for a lot of people, and I use the example, a lot of Major League Baseball players that we know of that train here. It's a great city, as you pointed out, Angela, but the other thing, of course, is when you have residency in Tennessee, it gives you the benefit of not having the state income tax.
True.
So that's incentive for a lot of people.
Rich,
yeah, you save, you keep a lot more of your money that way.
Yes.
True. Okay. Well, I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on it because I was just thinking from the family aspect that may be another reason, why he would build here would be for the Titans and just for the Titans.
Yep. Thank you for the phone call. I'm drawing blank. I know he lived in Dallas for a while, but I think the last time we had him on, I asked him where he was at, and it was not. Isn't he? I don't remember. I don't want to just throw something out because I have something in my head, and I'm not sure if that's right or not. But I definitely know I don't think it's here. I feel pretty good about that. All right, we'll come back. We'll continue on the other side. Don't forget Elliot Friedman coming up at 1 o'clock. These are all things on tap here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 6, we go behind the glass with current and former Predators players, along with coaches and broadcasters for Smashville Live.
Yost, Hal, and I were just talking about last night's game. It was a big game for us.
Presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red weather alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Falling temperatures the rest of the afternoon and evening means rain will try to switch over to freezing rain, so watch out for slick spots tonight and tomorrow morning.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the intel edge with the Gary Ashton team, the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
Preds fans, the huge outdoor game at Nissan Stadium is coming up on February 26th, and you have a great chance to win tickets plus save lives by donating blood. We're out here at the grand opening of the new Blood Assurance in Hermitage at 4686 Lebanon Pike. Stop by today and register to win a pair of tickets to the big game. Plus, we will be giving away to one lucky winner a limited edition Preds Stadium Series jersey. Come see us at the all-new Blood Assurance location in Hermitage, where we're giving away Preds Stadium game tickets all day.
Nashville's best deal of the week is the Mainstay Bar and Grill in East Nashville. The Mainstay is located at 501 Main Street and is your local spot to enjoy all your sports along with great food and friends. With over 25 TVs, 20 taps, and nightly events like trivia and much more, you can't go wrong. The Mainstay Bar and Grill. Good drinks, good people, good times. Head to thegamenashville.com/deals now to get half off a $30 gift card to the Mainstay while supplies last.
Has this ever happened to you? My friend was telling me about his new pair of headphones, so I looked them up online. Now, everywhere I go is a creepy ad for those headphones I looked at one time. I hate that feeling like I'm being watched. I got DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. It's that simple. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I think a lot of these times, Willie, we've talked about this with athletes over the years and musicians, right? We've actually had fun with this. Athletes want to be musicians, right? Musicians want to be athletes, right? They love.
I thought it was movie stars.
You know, they love.
There's a lot of crossover, right?
Yeah, they love the other world, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I look. Aaron Rodgers is a big music fan. We know that he's a big music fan. By the way, famous people hang out with famous people, and so if you have a lot of famous people that live here, I mean, then sometimes you want to maybe have a house where you have a lot of friends who are famous that also live in the same place. I mean, I'll never forget when we had C.J. Beathard on years ago when he was the quarterback for the 49ers, and we were promoting his camp that was here in Nashville, and he's like, you know, and we're like, okay, so who's some of the big names you've got coming? And he's like, you know, blah, 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 George Kittle, and I was like, oh, cool. You got George Kittle to come back here and be at your camp? He's like, well, he lives here now. Remember that conversation? I was like, what? He's like, yeah, George Kittle lives here now. He lives in Nashville in the offseason. And that's how we found out. C.J. Beathard came on here, and this was several years ago, and he's like, yeah, George Kittle lives in Nashville in the offseason. The point is, this stuff happens. Like, I've stopped being surprised, and you've brought up the baseball element. People have no idea how many Major League Baseball players have just quietly moved to Nashville, and they live here in the offseason, right? That you had no idea. And I hear names all the time, like current players, and you're like, what? And like, yeah, they built a house or they bought a house in Franklin or Brentwood, Belmead, whatever. Yeah, they live there. It's all the time. So we're not trying to I'm just saying we should be numb to this by now. Like, it happens all the time. Now, is there something behind this? I don't know.
No.
For the sake of the Titans getting to where they want, I hope so, because Aaron Rodgers can get them to the promised land.
Okay, but think about if there's something to it, okay? I don't think he's building a shack, right? Let's just say this home is going to be a sizable
it's not going to be a
investment,
shack.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we're to believe that he is embarking on this property and already knows he's going to be with the Titans next year?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Can he predict the
course.
future? Like, we're gonna do this because I know I'm going to be playing for the Titans next year. So just that doesn't line up at all. One has nothing to do with the other. Like maybe if it happens, it happens. But I don't think it's practical to think that. And I don't think the job is available.
Yeah, that is correct. By the way, the one that I was thinking about, and I was like, I don't really want to say that. I've had several people text me that I'll just leave their names out, but it's what I was thinking. It's either Puerto Rico or Costa Rica. I know the last time we talked to him, that's what I had in my mind. I was like, I don't know if I want to blurt that out there because I'm not sure if that's what Jordan said, but I'm getting some text and people are like, I believe you're on to it. It's either Puerto Rico or Costa Rica. I can't remember which one it is, but I think that's the last time when we talked to Jordan, that's where he said he was living now. Let's go to Eric on our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, but it's not here.
Hey guys, I'm just listening to all this and just kind of laughing and thinking it's hilarious, guys. And Will, I kind of agree with you because I'm not going to get sucked into this again because, of course, Keyshawn Johnson a few weeks ago said that Aaron Rodgers to the Titans would be a perfect fit, and that's what they're saying. You hear now all this stuff about property. Now goes to say, Aaron Rodgers is coming here. Guys, I'll believe it when I see it. I remember a few years ago, everybody was so excited because allegedly there were rumors that Tom Brady was here with Giselle to the NBA about looking for a school for his son and all this type of stuff. And they said, oh, yeah. And people say, there's no doubt in my mind Tom Brady's coming here. And the Titans were never seriously interested in him. So I'm kind of one of these, I'll believe it when I see it. I just laugh at all this stuff, because Nashville's a great town, great place, great city to live. If it happens, that's great because certainly Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill. But I'm like you, Willie. I'll believe it when I see it. I just don't buy it, guys. Y'all take care.
I do remember. What was it, NBA or Brentwood Academy?
It was NBA.
NBA, okay. Yeah,
which we never verified. I don't know that we ever got that verified. I know a lot of people that are over at NBA. I've never had one of them say, you know what, that Brady stuff, they actually did come in there. I saw it.
They were looking. School, looking at the
That doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I would have thought at some point, here we are. This is Nashville. What do we always say about Nashville? It's becoming a bigger city, but it's still kind of a small town. If you've been here a long time, you know a lot of people. I've still not had one person say, yeah, I saw Brady over there. He was there. I saw Giselle and the kids, and they actually went through there. I didn't see that.
No, you didn't get
but
that.
But I don't know. Maybe that one slipped under the cracks.
I think the one, like I said, that piqued my interest is that he's open to joining the Titans. But if you're looking for a next landing spot, why wouldn't they be on that list, right?
That's what I think. So I don't think that's any real value. Anything is possible. We just heard from Joel Corey. Anything is possible, but it's not practical.
Let just play along for just a minute before we leave and we come back for Elliott Friedman, final hour. Just play along. If you were able to move the mountain and these three quarterbacks were in play, which one would you want the Titans to move the mountain to make happen? Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, or Deshaun Watson?
I think that's pretty easy. Now, the real layered answer would be, what's the price of each one? How much am I giving up to get each one? What are they going to cost against the salary cap? That's everything. But me personally, I'm not interested.
Maybe part of your answer.
I'm not interested in just Deshaun Watson, period.
What if he comes the cheapest?
Still not interested. I'm just not going down that road. Maybe another team will. Probably another team will. I'm not interested.
What, you think he's done? He's never going to play again in the NFL?
No, I think he will.
Okay,
somebody's
going to do it.
I'm just telling you what I don't want him on my team. I've read enough about this situation. I need to see more before I would be even open to it. As is right now, I'm not interested in going down that road. Rodgers is one of the greatest of all time. Russell Wilson's a great quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest of all time. So that's your hypothetical. Then I think it's Rodgers. But what's the price difference?
Yep. All right, we'll come back. Elliott Friedman. We'll switch gears, talk a little hockey with him next.
Your home of the Nashville Predators.
Forsberg is shot, he scored! Philip Forsberg scores! Oh, my!
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
QC Kinetics provided amazing pain relief for a former professional baseball player, and you have access to the same life-changing treatments as retired Braves pitcher Jose Alvarez.
I put a lot of stress and strain and work on my right arm, but my right elbow took most of the damage with 3 surgeries.
Arthritis developed, and the pain was unbearable.
It wasn't just pain when I was trying to play sports. It was anytime I was moving the right elbow. It was pretty excruciating at times.
That's when Jose discovered QC Kinetics and the regenerative treatments that help the body heal itself, restoring damaged tissue and providing relief with no surgery or downtime. Jose's message to the medical professionals at QC Kinetics?
My elbow is feeling outstanding. Where were you 10 years ago, for crying out loud?
QC Kinetics is right here. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I want to talk to you about my friends at Creation CBD. You hear me talk about them every single day because they present Darren, Donick, and Chase, and we are proud to be associated with them and happy about it. And if you have aches and pains, on your body, whether it's from working out, being active, getting older, and you're looking for a solution, well, I've got it. Creation CBD. Creation means healing, and that says a lot. Creation is locally and organically sourced CBD products right here in Middle Tennessee. From seed to final sell, Creation is passionate about providing quality products for everyday use, including your pets. And you've heard me tell this story. Our female German Shepherd has had seizures for over 3 years, and lots of them. No matter how many pills a day she was on, the vet visits, nothing changed. But since putting her on the pet tincture, everything has changed. The seizures have stopped, she's lost weight, and she's a dog again. Right now, Creation CBD has got a special offer for DDC listeners. Go to CreationCompany.com, get 25% off your order by using the code DDC25 at checkout. DDC25 at checkout for 25% off your Creation CBD products. It's Creation CBD, curated for life.
Professional quilt maker Dana Balliard once said, "There are no rules in quilting, and if you think that there are, then it's time you try breaking a few." Now, I like that type of creative entrepreneurial spirit, and that's why I do my adult beverage trading at Red Spirits and Wine. It's not just a great selection of distilled spirits, single-barrel Red Select whiskeys, great wines from around the world, and awesome craft beers, but it's more the way the folks at Red just go about their business. At Red, they keep it interesting and fun. And the Cracker Jack crew makes you feel welcome after a hard day on the trail, never coming off like some of them snooty-nosed, big-talking whoop-de-doos. At Red, it's always square dealing with the best in service, selection, and prices. Plus, Red is locally owned by real folks, not some totally faceless corporation. There's no doubt in my mind, Red is my kind of place. Red Spirits and Wine, Highway 70 South and Old Hickory Boulevard. And check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and at redspirits.com.
Hey, it's Elijah Campbell from Darren, Donick, and Chase, and I got my radio start right here as an intern at ESPN 1025 The Game. It was an excellent experience, and we're now looking for new interns. If you think that's you, go ahead and send your resume over to together@cromwellmedia.com to apply.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
1025 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With host Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
1025 The Game.
Final hour on this Thursday afternoon. Elliot Friedman joins us next from Sportsnet. 32 Thoughts. Check out that podcast. Really good job there. Hockey Night in Canada. And he's presented every week at this time by the Bank of England Mortgage. Elliot, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing better than Rocky Wirtz, and we're doing better than the Chicago Blackhawks these days because the on-ice has been a mess. Thank goodness. They're in the Predators division. And off-ice seems to be a mess. I mean, what did you make of – I was sitting there reading that last night going, holy cow, what were they having, a town hall meeting? And the next thing you know, Rocky is going Rocky Balboa with everybody?
I was watching it live. And
oh wow!
I've used this analogy sometimes today. Have you ever been among a group of people where someone says something and someone else either misinterprets it or reacts really wrongly to it, and the whole group is kind of sitting there going, "What just happened?" that was my reaction. I watched it, and because here's the thing, like, Chicago had been preparing for that town hall for months. They knew after the Kyle Beach story came and we learned the truth of it, that they were going to have to spend some time working on and eventually explaining to us how they were going to repair their image. So they said a week earlier that they were going to be doing this. So you know what's going on behind the scenes. They're preparing. They're doing dry runs. They're saying, okay, what could all the potential questions be, and let's be ready for them. And here's our answers. Like there's no way that they could have been unprepared for that kind of a question. And you know, when Mark said in his tweet later that it was a softball, and like I was thinking, like, he was throwing them a belt-high fastball. They should have hit that into the fifth deck.
Yes.
And like I was watching it, and I was like, what just happened here? Like I honestly thought that somebody else in the audience had said something that, because I was like, it couldn't have been the question. And then, you know, then another reporter got up and kind of backed Mark Lazarus, and he snapped on him too. And I was like, you know, holy cow! Like it took me a couple of minutes to just to process what I just witnessed, and it was crazy. It's a failure. There's no question about it. It's done. You know, the Blackhawks were trying to put their reputation back together. It does huge damage to them. And you know what it also did, guys, was it torpedoed the reputation of two of the other people on stage. And one of them is his son, Danny Wirtz, is the CEO of the team. And the other is Jamie Faulkner, who's taken a very big role in the business operations and has talked a lot about modernizing their entire organization. Like his son tried to speak up, and Rocky cut him off and just said, "No, I'm going to do this." And, you know, you neuter people like that. And I just thought it was a devastating night for the organization, and there have to be consequences. There's no question about that. And, you know, the other thing, too, is the commissioner here, it's the All-Star weekend, so that sucks for the league. Yep. And also the commissioner always meets with the media. He's supposed to tomorrow afternoon. So he knows now. Everything he wants to talk about, this is now foremost on his plate.
Yep. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you so much for that. Well, what do you think the fallout will be?
Well, I think at the very least, you know, Rocky Wirtz is a member of the executive committee. There's 10 owners who form the executive committee. Like, you know, I think you've got to remove him. I mean, I don't see how you can avoid that. Now, you know, the challenge here is that this is like the Wirtz family has owned a team in the league, and like Bill Wirtz, Rocky's father, basically ran the league for a long time. And, you know, this is a really, really powerful family. It's not an easy problem for the NHL to handle, but I think I think you kind of have to maybe suspend them or remove them from the operations of the team for a while. I think you probably have to take them off the executive committee. I don't know if you can force a sale unless he actually wants to sell the team. But, you know, I think the thing that is that you can't believe there's going to be like meaningful change or sorrow over what happened based on what occurred last night. And that's why I think you have to do something that shows and says, we have to take Rocky Wirtz out of the picture. Like I don't see how you can advance right now if he's there.
It breaks our hearts in Nashville, I'll tell you. There's so much
love
I know
you
for
guys,
the Blackhawks.
I know how much you guys love the Blackhawks.
I really hate seeing them flounder.
I'll tell you this, I actually grew up a Blackhawks fan because when I was a kid, I'm from Toronto. I went to a Toronto-Chicago game at Maple Leaf Gardens, the old rink here, and some Blackhawks stopped to sign autographs for me. So I became a fan. I'm sorry to say this. I was happy to you guys. I was happy to see them win when they won, but this has been a stinky few months to say the least. And like that last night, like, you know what, guys, like in the social media era, there's going to be unintentional things that you go through just because everything turns into a firestorm, and you never know what it's going to be. Like, is there going to be things you're going to say, uh-oh, we're in trouble here, and nothing happens, and you're like, oh, nobody's going to care about this, and it turns into a fiasco. But what you can manage are self-inflicted wounds. And I think the thing that shocked me the most about last night was that was a self-inflicted wound, and you had to know that question was coming.
Right.
Like that was the most shocking thing about it to me.
Mind-blowing. Willie will remember this, Elliot. We had an intern here many years ago. This was right before the Chicago Blackhawks and Predators first-round series. And she wanted to get in this business. She was lovely. She was great, really smart, talented. But she decided that she was going all in on the Blackhawks. Remember, they were the 1 seed. Predators were the last team in, and she went all in on our show and our radio station and social media. And I don't know if she ever recovered. Like I said, she was a great girl, and I don't know if she ever recovered from it, because as you can imagine, she got crushed when the Titans swept them. Like, social media came out with its claws, but I will never forget that. But yeah, it was bad. Willie, you remember that, right?
Yeah. It's tough, man. Like, you just never know. People talk about cancel culture and mob mentality. I think that's I don't think cancel culture is about one side or the other. I just think that we've given the power to the mob, and we don't control the mob. And you never know. You throw something in. Does the mob care? Does the mob not care? It's like Russian roulette every day. And if they decide they do care about something, it's hard to handle the first time. It really is, no question.
Can I go off the beaten path? You've been doing this.
Sure.
You've been nice enough to do this with us for years now. Can I go off the beaten path for a second, just because I want to get your take about another league, just to see what you think? What do you make of this whole Brian Flores and NFL story and situation, hiring practices and throwing games and all of that? Can you imagine if this was happening in the NHL? Just what's your perspective on that?
The hiring practices thing, I can't argue with how he feels, right? If that's what he feels and that's his experience, I can't argue with that. The throwing games, like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you guys saw an example of that. Tim Peel, it was in your city.
Correct.
And he was basically fired the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was fired the next day. And you know what? Like, I remember going on TV that night, and somebody told me, you guys know obviously who Darren Ravel is, right?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't tweet a lot about hockey, but when that Tim Peel thing happened, he tweeted about it right away and wrote a story about it. And that, and someone said to me, this is a big deal for the NHL because we're really embracing gambling money now. I wrote about Austin Matthews this week. He's one of the first active players to sign a deal with a sports book in any sport in North America, if not the first. And you can't, if you are asking people to gamble on your sport, you cannot let them feel in any way, shape, or form that it's not right. It's not being done properly.
The integrity is being compromised. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a huge deal. Like the allegations about racism and hiring practices, that's a huge deal, obviously too. But they're both huge stories, as you said. And I saw Elway come out with his defense today. I saw Ross come out with his defense today. Like, this is going to be an ugly, ugly story.
Yeah, somebody's lying because everybody's denying it vehemently. I mean, adamantly denying it. So somebody's not telling the truth in all of
Well,
this.
a buddy of mine who's a lawyer, he sent me a note today. He read Elway's statement. He says Elway is using the words defamatory, so he thinks Elway's probably going to sue.
Wow.
Like, he thinks Elway is going to countersue now.
Interesting.
So it's really going to be.
Well, didn't the Dolphins use that word too?
Well, yeah, I didn't see Ross's statement. I just heard.
I think he used that word too. Yeah.
Okay, and so then at the very least, like the counter suits are going to come here. I'm not judging who's right or who's wrong. I will say this: I'm not going to argue with how Brian Flores feels about the hiring. I mean, the stuff about the money, I think you can prove that or not prove that, but you can't argue with how he feels in his own skin about the hiring practices.
I've saved all the Predator stuff for Willie, so he's going to get some juicy stuff. We're going to step away for a couple minutes and come back with Elliot Friedman. His appearance every week presented by Bank of England Mortgage. More with Elliot on the other side here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Credibility. Look at me. Relatability.
False start. 5-yard penalty.
And very little athletic ability.
You got to open up the playbook.
Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe are Darren, Donick, and Chase. Weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Genesis Diamonds has everything you need to create the perfect Valentine's experience. A romantic gift, some fresh flowers, chocolates, and dinner out on us. That's right. Genesis has put together the ultimate Valentine's package. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, we'll give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at STK Steakhouse. At Genesis, love and romance are what we do best. So we've created this amazing one-stop offer so you can spend quality time with the one you love this Valentine's. We've pulled together some wonderful Valentine gift ideas as well. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, affordable, timeless gifts she can enjoy for years. So bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis. Spend just $99 or more with us and get the flowers, the chocolates, and a gift card for dinner as our gift. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Limited quantity. See store for details.
Get big game ready and score amazing deals at Electronic Express. Bring the action to your living room with 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, and more. The game wouldn't be complete without the food, so save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Electronic Express has what you need to get big game ready. We make it happen.
Preds fans, the huge outdoor game at Nissan Stadium is coming up on February 26th, and you have a great chance to win tickets, plus save lives by donating blood. We're out here at the grand opening of the new Blood Assurance in Hermitage at 4686 Lebanon Pike. Stop by today and register to win a pair of tickets to the big game. Plus, we will be giving away to one lucky winner a limited edition Preds Stadium Series jersey. Come see us at the all-new Blood Assurance location in Hermitage, where we're giving away Preds Stadium game tickets all day.
Bank of England Mortgage has been helping Americans live the dream of home ownership for over 100 years. Since their humble beginnings in England, Arkansas, they've gone from a community bank to a nationwide mortgage lender. BOE delivers innovative mortgage products with superior customer service and the most knowledgeable loan officers in Nashville. Find your nearest location in Middle Tennessee at BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
This is Phil Tomasino, and this is Smashville.
Cousins put it in front of the score. Tomasino lofts it in.
is a flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 1025, The Game.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the
We're back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase, ESPN 1025 The Game. We continue our conversation with one of the best, Elliot Friedman, 32 Thoughts, Hockey Night in Canada, joins us every Thursday at this time. Elliot, it's good to talk to you again. The last couple times we've done this, it's been a game day. The timing hasn't worked for me, so I'm raring to go here. And I did really enjoy the latest installment of the 32 Thoughts. Lots of thoughts on the Predators. And I think everybody here appreciates, when somebody does the homework like you and sort of shares some of the storylines that are going on here, and you kind of see it play out to like the league audience, the national audience.
Well, I do think, Willie, one of the things, unfortunately, is because our rules are restrictive up here, I haven't been able to see a lot of people. And, obviously my focus is on Canada because I work for Hockey Night in Canada. But we're fortunate enough to have a good American audience that is just saying, we need a little bit more on our teams. So I started looking over and I started looking at the standings and saying, well, who haven't I written about? And, Nashville was one team, and obviously, as you saw, I talked to Los Angeles and Minnesota too.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, I hadn't been serving the Predator fan base enough in the blog, and I wanted to get to it. And David Poile was really good about it, which is no surprise.
I love the story about the guy that reminded David Poile about where Tanner Jeannot came from. We love the great underdog story that he is, and there's been a lot of great things written about his story, but that's one I hadn't heard yet. Share that one with us.
Well, it just happened last week, right? You guys were up in Edmonton, which is always, balmy and lovely at this time of year. And you guys were up there last Thursday, and, the Oilers beat you in the shootout in that ridiculous McDavid goal. But David Poile said he was going down the elevator after the game, and there was a scout there who, kind of just said to him after Jeannot, the impact he has is just that, when he was 17 years old in the Western Hockey League, he had one goal. And, I understand that, not everybody recognizes this, but to be that age in that league, which is one of the top junior leagues in the world, if not the top junior league in the world, and have one goal and be where he is almost a decade later, that is unheard of. It is unheard of. He's got 13, the hardest place to score in the NHL is 5-on-5. And he's got, 13 5-on-5 goals this year?
Correct.
To go from one goal overall in the WHL at 17 to 13 goals at 5-on-5 now, it's incredible. And the other funny story that David Poile talked about with him is that a couple of years ago they sent him down to the East Coast League below Milwaukee, and he was pissed off at them. And they're like, we just want you to play. We think this is a good thing for you. And, he was mad about it, the player. And it turned out to be a good thing. But, one thing that actually didn't make it in there was he talked about Jeannot and he talked about Carrier. And he said that these are two players that we admit we probably didn't know what we had. We'd given them chance. We like with Jeannot, they liked him, and with Carrier, they saw him as potentially a long-time American Hockey League player, but they didn't know at what they had at the NHL level, if they had anything at the NHL level, until both of those guys made them realize they were here to stay. And, he credited them. Those are definitely two players playing roles on the Predators right now that I don't think Nashville as an organization expected.
No question. So I think we're all curious now going forward, Elliot. You mentioned in your notes column you sized up what's going on in Minnesota. We just watched them last night on TNT blast the Blackhawks. So you've got an interesting race in the Central going on. You've got four teams that are really good, and the next thing you know, one of them is going to have to play in the wild card. The math says so. Only the top three can be automatic bids, etc. So with the Predators in this stage that they've made public, the competitive transition, trying to get younger, they're a little bit ahead of schedule. So how tempting do you think it will be for David Poile to try to add a piece or two, even if it's not a big piece, to try to compete with these teams that are around them.
I don't get the impression that he's like the thing that I noticed in my conversation with him is that, number one, he said he really likes the group and he doesn't really want to break them up. I think the Forsberg thing, and he was very careful, as you saw the quote, which for those of you who didn't see it was, I don't want to. I asked him if he could see a situation where he keeps an unsigned Forsberg through the trade deadline, and he said, I don't want to box myself in with an answer. He said he made it clear it's not really what he prefers to do, but he would never say never. So, he was very careful with that. But, the impression I got from him is that he still thinks that right now their goal this year is to make the playoffs. If they get in, they'll adjust, and I think they will get in. But what it said to me is that he doesn't necessarily think yet that they're like a top Stanley Cup contender. And when you're not a top Stanley Cup contender, you don't do anything short term. So my sense is that what he's going to do at the deadline is going to be determined by, A, can he do something that isn't really if it's a short-term thing, then it's not for a big price. It's for a small price. If he does anything major, aside from Forsberg, it's for something that's got some term or team control to it. And the Forsberg situation is kind of over on itself because he's going to have to decide how talks are going at the deadline and make his call then.
With the Predators having played more games than most of the other teams in the West, their month of February is pretty spread out. Then you get into March and April, and everything is a frenzy all around the league. Everybody knows that. So is this maybe the climate? Is this the time that you could maybe take and really try to work on the Forsberg deal from all parties here?
Well, I would think they're going to take a big run at it. I have no doubt. I'm sure they've already like David Poile and J.P. Barry, who represents Forsberg. They've been around a long time. Like there's a lot of experience at this. I would suspect that. Look, I just think in this day and age, teams and agents, they know comparables. They know. There's no question in my mind that Nashville. Maybe they don't know exactly what it's going to take, but they have an excellent idea of what it's going to take to sign them. And that's not just money. That's also the trade protection and all the stuff that comes with it. I would think, though, that, yes, I mean, look, we're 7 weeks away from the deadline, right? Like the calendar dictates it's time to get to work. And I would think that Poile and Barry, I wouldn't be surprised if they meet face-to-face at some points and they sit there and they say, okay, let's get to where we are. I think the Predators, they have to take a big run at signing him. There's really, the year he's having, there's no other option. And, I think it's going to come down to, are the Predators willing to take the kind of, I don't know if it'll be the same number as Yossi. I would suspect that, I guess, this is purely my guess, that Yossi remains their highest paid player, but they're going to have to take a pretty significant leap in terms of money and protection to make this work. And then it comes down to, does Forsberg want to stay? You guys know that better than me. You guys have told me you believe he wants to stay. I think at the end of the day, if the team gets close and the player wants to stay, they find a way to make it work.
Okay, so before we let you go, let's do a comparison. You've got Nashville that has some pretty good cap flexibility, has a pretty young nucleus. I was really interested to sort of contrast that with the Wild, who are having a great season, a little bit like the Predators, maybe even better than people thought. They had a good year last year, but they're even better this year, it looks like. Bill Guerin knows he's got that big bill coming up down the road with the salary cap, but he's got a pretty good squad. So how does that affect what he does at the trade deadline this year?
Well, I think that the one thing that Bill Guerin has shown, and I think there are some GMs in the league who are pretty fearless. I think your GM is pretty fearless. He's understated about it, but I think he's shown with the moves he's made, he's not afraid. I think Bill Guerin's cut for that same cloth. Now, Guerin, if you'll notice it, they've signed a bunch of guys this year. They signed Foligno to an extension. Now they signed Jordan Greenway to an extension. he told me the other day that he's got to slot everybody in because of those cap questions he has. They lose $13 million off the cap next year and $15 million the 2 years after. So he's trying to slot everybody in. I think the biggest thing about Guerin is that he likes his team. He's like Poyle. He doesn't want to break them up. I think he looks to see is there some depth they can add that really helps them, because I don't know how many long-term commitments he can bring in, if any. I'll tell you this, though, guys, this year. Those Central Division playoffs, they're going to be insane. Those are 4 mean teams. And if Dallas gets in, like I look at you guys, I look at Minnesota, I look at Colorado, and I look at St. Louis, and I see 4 really mean teams. And if Dallas gets in, they're a pretty mean team too. Nobody's getting out of those playoff rounds unscathed in those series.
Yeah, let's hope it keeps materializing like that. It's going to be fun. Elliot, as always, great stuff. Enjoy your break. I guess you're not going to Vegas. Is that correct?
No, we're doing it from here. Unfortunately, we're not going, which is it's. I'm really disappointed. I love Vegas, but it's good for my bank account. Too many hours at those craps tables, guys.
All right. Well, we'll enjoy the festivities, and we'll talk to you again next week. Great stuff.
All right. All the best.
All right. Great stuff. Elliot Friedman from 32 Thoughts always brings it strong, the very best when it comes to hockey analysis. When we come back, we will hash out a few more things that we just heard. He's had his thoughts, the latest thoughts on Forsberg. I've got a few thoughts as well as he continues to light it up. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more here on 102.5 The Game.
Every Thursday at 1 on Darren, Donick, and Chase, we're joined by Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman for the best inside knowledge on the NHL. It's all brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. The cold winds of winter are here, and that means it's a great time to replace those old, drafty windows. Pella is the leader in the industry for top-quality window and door products. But Pella Windows and Doors are also affordable, extremely affordable. Pella has payment plans less than $95 a month to replace your windows. So, I suggest you purchase your windows and doors from the experts at Pella of Nashville. Go to PellaofNashville.com.
Need cash for that home improvement or want to finally be credit card debt free? How does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound right now? Loan Pronto can do it for you, whether you have a VA loan or a conventional loan. They're helping local homeowners convert their home equity into cash with zero closing costs. Willie Donick here. Listen, your home value is up. Let Loan Pronto tap that equity and get you the cash you need. Pay off high interest loans. Start that home remodeling project. Veteran homeowners are really loving this because with a VA loan, you can tap 100% of your home's equity. That's a ton of cash. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They are doing loans with APRs in the 2s. And if you call now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now to see what your options are. Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about our friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling and their heating and air stimulus plan. If your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of their special offer right now. They will double your tax refund up to $1,000. Huge savings with Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit that lasts with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months, no interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York-certified comfort expert company.
Thinking about making a change? You've put in the years and had success, but ready for something more? Well, good news. Little Guys Movers is looking for folks just like you to own and operate their very own Little Guys Movers franchise. From Broadway to Brentwood to Mount Juliet, if you can hear my voice, there's an affordable, profitable Little Guys franchise opportunity nearby. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Join a team with 30-plus years of growth and good times. Learn more at littleguysfranchise.com and then make that call.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, radio has been called theater of the mind, so let's tell a story with sound effects. Wow, it's like I was in the story. Almost makes me forget this was supposed to be about saving big with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Saturday,
Pippen drives around and scores. Give him a bucket and one.
Vanderbilt returns home to take on LSU at Memorial Gym. Coverage begins at 4:30 on 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
Hey, this is Philip Forsberg. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Thank you, Phil. Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase. Darren McFarland and Willie Donick here with you on this rainy Thursday. Elijah Campbell, Hillside Medical Game Studios. Pretty interesting stuff, as always, from Elliot Freeman. By the way, if you were not caught up on, you didn't see or read or hear about the Chicago Blackhawks town hall, I mean, go back and read. It's Rocky Warts. It's just sit back. If you need readers, get your readers out. Maybe start up a fire. It's going to get cold again. Get the fireplace going, and just read away, because it's unbelievable. I mean, you're talking about, 101. I mean, just the basics, like what not to do. No, I guess he threw that book that manual into the fireplace because he did not follow proper protocols. All right, what stood out to you when it comes to the Predators? Let's get into the Forsberg stuff.
Well, I think he agrees with just a thought I had. I think this is a time you try to work on it. Not necessarily during the All-Star break, but during the month of February, you've got some days. And, of course, you don't necessarily have to. You could do it on the day of a game if you wanted to, but it's a little more of a slower pace. And there might even be a day where you could talk to Philip face-to-face if you're David Poile. I just think this is the time where you can as you heard Elliot say, take a run at it. See how close you can get. Or maybe even you get it done. But the more time goes by, the more he's doing well. Trading him is really not an option. I just don't see.
Although he said ruling out anything. He's not ruling out anything.
Who's not ruling out anything?
Didn't he say that about David Poile? He said everything was on the table. He wasn't going to rule out anything.
Well, I just don't think he wanted to give Elliott too much of an impressive.
I'm just repeating what he said.
But that wasn't the question. The question was, would you keep him after the trade deadline? And I think the answer to that is yes. He kept Mikael Granlund and Matthias Ekholm after the trade deadline.
Yep.
And then eventually signed them back. I don't think it's the best case scenario. I don't think he wants to do that, but I think he would do that. He's not going to trade him. It's just not realistic that he's going to trade Philip Forsberg with what's going on with the team and what's going on with the seasons he's having.
Goes up to the player and talks shop either. I don't during the course of the season about this. I don't think that happens.
He did it with Roman Josi. That was during the season.
How does the agent feel about that? Because
you ask permission. And see if the guy's willing or not. If he says no,
is that
then
typical?
You're okay
though?
with that. Are the Predators typical?
Well, I'm just asking, is that typical that happens? I mean, isn't that a pretty low percentage? Because that's why you have an agent.
Yes, and the player has every right to say, "This is not my department. I'm going to let my agent take charge of that." I mean, it was unique that Roman was the captain, so maybe that made it a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. But I think Philip Forsberg has been around so long. I think there's a relationship there that you could have a talk. And I think the agent would have to say, okay, I trust David Poile is not going to have any funny business here. He's been doing this for a long time. If you want to do it, it could be the agent talking to Philip Forsberg. If you want to do it, feel comfortable, then do it. If you don't feel comfortable, then I will call him and say he's just not comfortable doing that. Let's continue to try to hammer it away, from our end here.
I feel like I'm typically trying to give the side or the perspective of the organization. kind of the business side of things, but this time I'm going to flip to the other side. Since you've posed the question, why would his agent, or why would, I guess in this case his agent's going to do the talking. Why would his agent discuss when you say try to hammer something out? This is what every player and / agent wants. This is the dream scenario going into a UFA offseason. You're having your career year. Why would they do that? Now they hold all the cards. Why would they do that?
I think the answer
why do you
to that
think they
is,
would hammer anything out?
I think the real what it boils down to is what Elliott said. Does he want to stay here? Is his first choice to stay here? If his first choice is to stay here, then I think you have the runway to get it done before you hit the open market.
If your first choice was to stay here, why wouldn't you already have a deal in place?
Because maybe you didn't know it was your first choice at the beginning of the season, and things have materialized a certain way.
Fair enough.
In the last few months. The other part of it is I tried to sit down and do the math. The fact that the Predators can offer 8 years and all the other teams cannot go past 7, the money will be better here, ultimately, unless the Predators really are lowballing him, which I don't think at the end of the day will be the case. I don't know if they've offered their best deal yet that they're going to, because his stock just keeps going up with the year he's having. But let's just do the math. Let's just start with an offer of 8 times 8. That's $64 million, right? If I did my multiplication tables right, 8 times 8 is 64. So for a team that can only offer 7 years, they have to automatically go to $9 million just to get to 63. That's still not more money than the Predators can offer. It's more money per year, but the Predators are offering more money at $1 million less. Now, if the Predators want to go up to 8.5 or closer to $9 million a year, which is just under what Roman Josi makes, let's just say 8 times 9. That's $72 million. So now a team has got to go over $10 million a year to come close to matching that. And that doesn't even factor in what we've been talking about all day with Aaron Rodgers, no state income tax here. So the money is not going to be better somewhere else. The Predators can match financially anything that anybody's going to offer, unless somebody is just going to pay stupid money. How many teams really even have that, except for the Arizonas of the world, or the teams that, most of the good teams are right up against the cap. The Predators are not. So there's just so much, I think, that is going for the Predators in this negotiation. And at the end of the day, Darren, what you're saying is Philip Forsberg has a lot of leverage. There's no question. But who is going to go more than that? Is somebody going to offer him $10 million a year? Who's got that money?
Takes one team, and no, I don't think so. I think that's personally overpaying, but doesn't mean somebody won't do it. People overpay all the time.
Yes, but is that where he wants to go?
Oh, I mean,
is that better than what you get here?
I don't know the teams that are the team that will be willing to go there.
The Flyers. Let's just say they want to do something stupid and crazy. I got to change it up. I mean, that would be an organization that's done stuff like that before.
Sure.
Would they go $10 million a year for him?
I wouldn't rule anything out with the Flyers.
Okay. And, I have to agree with that. They've done some zany things. So if you're Philip Forsberg, is that appealing to you? Is that where you want to go?
If you're looking at this year's team, no.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
If you're projecting,
you know what you have here. You know what you have here. I mean, that would signal to me that he's just deep down unhappy about being here. I've never gotten that impression
Willie,
from Philip Forsberg.
I'm not going to push back on anything you're saying.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but if it was that simple, the deal will be done, and it's not that simple.
No, it's definitely not simple.
It's very clear they're going to wait. That's the way it seems to me. It seems very clear to me that everything you're laying out, I think, is probably realistic. Probably realistic that no one's going to be able to offer something more because once you talk about the extra year and once you talk about no state income tax, how many hockey markets don't have a state income tax? Not very many. Right? So your options are dwindled way down. Okay? You've got what, the Florida teams?
Right.
Texas. There's not very many. So you got small, a small
Vegas.
Vegas,
Florida, Texas.
Certainly Vegas is always a wild card because they're not afraid to spend. They're not afraid to big.
They're $10 million over the cap. They just signed
They
Jack
remind
Eichel.
me of the Rams. They're not afraid. Okay,
they got to trade 6 guys to open up the kind of room it would take. There's no way.
They've proven they're not afraid. I mean, there's no history right now. The short amount of time they've been in this league, there's no proof at all. With the short history they have, that they're afraid of anything. But anyway, I'm saying, with that being said, there's no doubt what you're laying out is probably true. So if it's pretty easy for us to sit here and talk about it out loud and conclude it's probably going to be the best here, then once again, I say, why isn't a deal in place?
Well, because
they
I
probably made the determination that they're going to wait till after the season.
I think that might have been the thinking at one time in the off season, but as his track has gone one way, Forsberg, it's gone up, right? The arrow has been up. He's been awesome. And the team has fallen into place so well. I think it still has you saying this is not an easy negotiation. There's a lot to hash out here. Exactly what is he worth? How do we get the details done? But as long as there's a mutual thought of, I like it here, I like where the team is going, this is the place that can offer me the best financial package, as long as he's not just itching to get out of here, I feel like it will get done. But that's just me. I'm sitting on the outside here not knowing anything more than I haven't had these private conversations or anything. I'm just looking at impressions that I get the lay of the land. The Vegas thing, Vegas is $10 million over this year's salary cap. So I agree with you. They'll do just about anything, but I just don't see how they can clear enough money to even make a run.
You think they didn't know that when they acquired Jack Eichel? Do you think that?
Oh, yeah.
You don't think they didn't know that? Of course
they knew it.
Well, they're not scared. Once again, they're not scared.
They're going to have to trade a couple of really good players before they even get him under the cap, let alone go after Philip Forsberg.
They've proven they'll do it.
They've got to be tapped out.
They've proven they'll do it. They're, like I said, they're the L.A. Rams version in hockey. They are not afraid to acquire. They love names. They love them. And they're not afraid by big salaries or big contracts. And I'm not saying that Vegas is that team. I'm just saying, or could be that potential suitor. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised with them. I will never rule them out. Until they change the way they go about their business, if this is the way they conduct business, I would never rule them out. But time will tell. We'll come back, put a bow on Thursday's edition of Darren, Donick, and Chase next.
From Fox 17 News, this is a Code Red Weather Alert.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Falling temperatures the rest of the afternoon and evening means rain will try to switch over to freezing rain, so watch out for slick spots tonight and tomorrow morning.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Preds fans, the huge outdoor game at Nissan Stadium is coming up on February 26th, and you have a great chance to win tickets, plus save lives by donating blood. We're out here at the grand opening of the new Blood Assurance in Hermitage at 4686 Lebanon Pike. Stop by today and register to win a pair of tickets to the big game. Plus, we will be giving away to one lucky winner a limited edition Preds Stadium Series jersey. Come see us at the all-new Blood Assurance location in Hermitage, where we're giving away Preds Stadium game tickets all day.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
Genesis Diamonds has everything you need to create the perfect Valentine's experience. A romantic gift, some fresh flowers, chocolates, and dinner out on us. That's right. Genesis has put together the ultimate Valentine's package. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, we'll give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers, some yummy chocolates, and a gift card for dinner at STK Steakhouse. At Genesis, love and romance are what we do best. So we've created this amazing one-stop offer so you can spend quality time with the one you love this Valentine's. We've pulled together some wonderful Valentine gift ideas as well. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, affordable, timeless gifts she can enjoy for years. So bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis. Spend just $99 or more with us and get the flowers, the chocolates, and a gift card for dinner as our gift. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Limited quantity. See store for details.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, don't assume that steroid shots, pain pills, and surgery are your only options. You can call now to get real, lasting, life-changing relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using biologic therapies to repair damaged tissue in your aching joints. The success rate is staggering. People with knee and back pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, they're moving again, enjoying life again with help from QC Kinetics. This advanced, unique treatment protocol uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. These powerful, highly concentrated growth factors are put directly into your affected joint, going to work to soothe the inflammation and restore damaged tissue. A truly regenerative treatment. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Finally, a new, different, highly successful approach to dealing with joint pain. Is it time you got a second opinion? Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics now. 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Inside knowledge on the Titans.
Todd Downey's got his notepad out right now, just writing things down. Ooh.
Inside knowledge on the Predators.
They can go right into the forecheck, and boom, you get a beautiful goal from Colton Sissons.
And then there's a team in Knoxville.
How excited should Tennessee fans be by what they've seen from Josh Heupel in year one?
Wake up and hang out with Robbie and Rex Road. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and The Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Beautiful friend, this is the end.
Almost, Jim. Almost.
My only
Did you see where Gary Rankin retired from Alcoa?
No.
17 state titles. 467 wins. How about that?
He goes back a ways.
That's kind of a
pretty darn good.
Pretty good record. Pretty good resume, huh? Not bad. Last night, Vanderbilt was in Lexington to take on Kentucky. You know what we talked about at the very end of the show yesterday? They were a heavy underdog. They fought, man. They battled.
They did battle. They played well. They finally got
Pippen had a big game.
They finally got Liam Robbins, the center that was a transfer. They finally got him in a uniform and got him out on the court. He definitely looked like he hadn't played all year long, but he showed some tools. He's enormous. He had a couple of flashes of some talent. I'm hoping that goes somewhere. And it also allowed them to rest Quentin Malora-Brown, the only other big man that they have, who has had a really good year, honestly, but he's a limited player. I thought they really did a good job of making it tough on Sheboygan. It was quite the game to watch. Both teams got teed up. Both coaches got teed up. Mm-hmm. It was a very physical game. There were elbows called on both teams, which I'm starting to really not like that rule. I think we got to come to grips with something. When teams play hard, there will be some elbows errantly that actually clip people. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a flagrant foul and go to the monitor every single time somebody whines and says it was an elbow. It's not what the intent of the rule was. So that's a discussion for another day. But at the end of the night, it's another chapter in the slow, really small progress that Jerry Stackhouse has made. They're better. You know, that might be the toughest team in the nation right now. They're right up there. Kentucky's a top 5 team. You're playing in Rupp, and you hung around for 40 minutes. You know, Kentucky a couple times looked like they were going to make the knockout punch.
Yep.
And they'd come back, and they were right in it. Pippen had a good game, but it's a loss. So now Vanderbilt has Saturday. They're retiring Shane Foster's number. LSU comes to town. Vanderbilt hasn't had a big win at home in a long time. Not since Jerry Stackhouse has been the coach that I can remember. A big win over a top 25. That's what they need.
But LSU's kind of going the wrong direction here lately.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But they're a top 25 team. This is a gettable game. They need this game. They've had some good efforts that have come up with a loss, and then they've had some games where they missed an opportunity to get a win and didn't have their best effort. South Carolina at home this year. After they won at Arkansas, come back home, didn't play great against South Carolina and fell. So they're getting better. I don't think it's out of the realm that they could win several more games in the league here, which is way more than they've won. They might end up the year with more league wins than they had the last 2 years combined. I don't know what the number is, but they're better.
Saying a whole lot.
But ultimately, there's a next level they have to get to. I'm curious what Robbins looks like after a few more weeks playing. Hopefully, he can stay healthy because he's a big man that can move. That's something you don't see too often. So it'll be interesting, and I still think Kentucky is one heck of a team. That might have been a pretty good night to catch Kentucky coming off of a great win at Kansas. Maybe Kentucky wasn't razor sharp, but Kentucky got some players, man. That Shibwe is really something. You got to battle to get any rebound away from that guy. He got in foul trouble, didn't play all game. He still had, 17 or 18? What was the end of
that's what probably, if you're the rest of the country, that's what probably scares you the most is they're not depending on one guy. Even though, one or two guys are really good, they get production, elsewhere. When somebody is hurt, Washington, or somebody gets in foul trouble, it's like somebody else steps up and has a big game. So that's a pretty scary proposition for everybody else.
I like how their pieces fit. The Kentucky pieces fit. That's one of the things I still see with Vanderbilt. They've got a lot of guys. Sometimes they're playing 10 guys. Or, a couple of guys rotate out of the rotation, a couple of guys come back in who haven't played much. They're still trying to find that right formula. Kentucky, the pieces fit. You know exactly what everybody's role is. They got the shooter on the outside. What's his name? Grady.
Kelly Grady, the 2,000-point scorer at Davidson.
Yeah, that guy is a perfect complement to Shibwe on the inside. They've got Washington, who's a great talent. I just like how they're meshing. So good showing by Vanderbilt, but now down the stretch here, they need W's, right? It's not just good enough right now to look good and come up a little bit short. It's time to start getting some W's. That's the next step for Jerry Stackhouse's group. I love how they play hard. He runs good stuff. They just need to get over that hump, get some W's, get some momentum going.
Very interesting game will be February 15th. 12 days. So what is that, a Saturday? What is that, Sunday?
That's a Wednesday, I believe.
That's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Tuesday the 15th, Kentucky in Knoxville to take on Tennessee. I'm telling you, that will be a good one. That will be a really, really good game. And speaking of that, Elijah, are you doing a little special hour tonight during the 6 o'clock hour?
That's right. Courtside with Campbell and Knezovic is going to be live tonight.
Wow.
6 to 7, we're going to talk about that Vanderbilt-Kentucky game, talk about Tennessee, maybe turning around the offense a little bit. A whole lot to get into tonight.
Moving on up. He's going live, everybody.
I like
He's going live. We'll do it live.
Let the rookies out. Let them go. Get them the ball.
6 o'clock hour tonight, college basketball hour. We'll see if Sliced Bread has any comments on the message board at 7 o'clock. That'll do it for our show today. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Be safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Sliced Bread.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Furniture has never been easier to buy than now at